Hello, future VOD listeners. Welcome back to another stream. Today we'll be continuing Gyakuten live at. Actually, I might just stop the stream there before anybody shoots. Well, like, I could have just done a perfectly normal introduction, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna say, like, yeah, in the first, like, 10 seconds. Can that get me, like, age restricted on YouTube? Imagine it's just, like, saying, yeah, actually get you, like, age restricted, like. But anyway, welcome back to another stream. Today we'll be playing Gyakuten live. Don't know if we'll finish it today, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm just gonna check everything's all in order and all good, and we can go from there. I also uploaded a new video today, based on a past VOD that is no longer available. So make sure to go check that out on the YouTube channel. But for now, though, stay here. Stream time. Unless you're watching this in the future, then you know that's different. Like, hey Jake, how's it going? Diagwitch Joseph. Tell make him all. Kunastatu. Is it Kunastatu? Jesus, it's been ages since I've done fucking Irish. Like, I couldn't tell you. Oh, I typed command list wrong in the other chat. Is it gonna? There we go. And that'll pop up soon, hopefully. Oh yeah, let me check. So that's good. That's ready to go. There's the commands for YouTube. And then, yeah, cool. We're all good. We're all ready and we're all set up to go. We're recording and we are streaming. Now I just got to open the game. Oh, yeah, I did actually notice as well. Somebody followed me there off stream time. So they must have, whatchamacallit, they must have just decided to follow me then and there. Like, happy Monday, young fella. Thank you, Jake. Happy Monday to you too as well, man. I just realized, actually, I usually don't even stream on a Monday because usually I'm working, but I have basically a week off right now, so I have today off, tomorrow I'll be busy, Wednesday be off, and so on. Oh, there you are, Sweezy. Yeah, see, I knew I seen a different person following there, because when I opened the Twitch menu as well to set up the stream, I was like, oh, that's a different follow. I don't remember them following during the stream. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? What was else going to say? Oh yeah, so then Wednesday, just let me check. I think I have a driving lesson on Wednesday. I know I only have one this week because the other guy that I usually do driving lessons with was like very busy. Other than that, oh yeah, so 26th, yeah. So I have driving lesson, but I should be home. Maybe I'll do a stream, maybe I won't. Tomorrow, depending how long I am, I might do a stream. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I should still be free. I haven't got any other plans, to be honest. So it's kind of just like streams all around. Whoopish, whoopish. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry. Doing good. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well, man. Right. Let me stop delaying. Let me stop waffling. Let me get into this. Hopefully audio's grand anyway, because... Let me just double check. So if I go here, just turn down a little bit. There we go. Because see, I think that's the reason why I wanted to introduce the audio for Yokimabob. Oh, actually, oh yeah, it only saved from last time, so I'm gonna have to use the manual save. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to split the audio from the window itself out from the desktop audio, is so that people don't have to double hear the sound alerts when they go off. Even though I just realized, now that I think about it, I could just turn off the... Wait, I could just turn off the sound alerts instead. Maybe I'll do that, actually. Turn off the sound alerts, turn off the window capture temporarily, and then turn on desktop. Because then if it's all coming through there anyway, there's no point. Oh, I did forget something. Jesus, I was just thinking, like, wait, I forgot something else. And of course, it's the good old trusty soundboard. This will take 2 minutes if I don't accidentally swap the input of my main monitor. Welcome to Scuff. Oh yeah, and I meant to say in the Discord as well that I'm live as well. So yeah, 2 things I've forgotten to do. I feel like there has been a stream, but maybe even yesterday's stream, where I just had everything ready to go and I did everything I wanted to do before the stream started. But no, today is not that day. Yesterday might have been that day, though. Close to it, anyway. Say, this should work. Yep, there we go. This is all working. All good. Prankster. There we go. Let me just shove this under here so it doesn't interrupt me. Push keyboard. And the other thing I wanted to do was do this before thing. Let's see, where is he? There we go. Right. Now we're already in set to go. I'll open Opera later, because knowing like me, I'm gonna open Opera during the day, like, and open a link to Rickroll or something like that. Like, what little emote do you have there? It's a bit hard to see because I have the dark background on Twitch. Turning 5 crow bah. Is it like patting itself? Or is it just flapping its wings? I can't tell. I think I still have Milky's emotes? Oh yeah, I still do, because it should last till like the 22nd. There we go, get Squeeby. Me? She was copying me yesterday? That's right. The fake Chica came back and impersonated you for the whole day. We didn't even realize until that night. It was a really convincing illusion. Just to check, Rico, how tall are you? 160 centimeters. Why'd you ask? Yeah, see, I looked at the wiki yesterday and it's like, ah, yeah, I knew she wasn't 161 as well. Like, Chameleon-San is apparently 161 tall. Her disguise works much better when it's to imitate you. Her heights are incredibly close, or your heights are incredibly close. Are you alright, you? Feeling fully refreshed? My mind is, but my mood isn't. I don't have high hopes right now. It's been a whole night since we last saw Chameleon-San. She might have skipped town by now. If that's the case, we might not even be able to bring her back in here. Really? We can't subpoena her? Not if we don't know her true identity. We wouldn't know who to subpoena. Putting out a subpoena for Chameleon-San while not knowing where she is won't cut it. Yosado. Magandang Umaga, Lawyer-san? I'm assuming that's also another greeting for hello, because last time she said Guten Tag. How are you feeling about the case today? If I must be honest, not very good. I feel like we wasted the entirety of yesterday looking for Chameleon-San. We didn't find enough clues to prove you innocent. Right, speaking of Chameleon-San, I had been talking to Bijin. I asked if Chica had requested Chameleon-San to cover for her. Did a transfer of responsibility happen? Bijin said that it technically didn't, but it still was reckless of her to do so without telling anyone. So either way, part of the blame will get transferred back to me. Yeah, that's what Chameleon-San herself suggested. I guess we'll have to rely on Bijin-San's loophole. As a reminder, there are 3 things I have to figure out today. Actually, you know what? Perfect. Remind me, I'm going to get my book out as well. Not that I'm going to write them down, but we'll figure them out during the case. First, I have to prove that Chameleon-San took Yo's place. We're back at square one regarding that factor. Second, I need to prove that she somehow did the crime. Third, she needs to take responsibility for it. Can you say all that when she's probably gone? Problem is, according to the Ofida, she never had anything to do with the crime. How the heck am I going to accomplish that? Well, Chica and I will probably testify first. In fact, here she comes right now. Hi. I'm ready to talk about what happened. Great. Say, since you were the one who hired Chameleon-San, could you try contacting her? I've been trying to last night, but I got no response. I guess she's trying to lay low. Looks like we'll have to drag her kicking and screaming into the court if we have to. There's no need for that. Okay, is this Maki? Oh, no, wait, she's just right here, like... I wasn't actually expecting her to just appear in person, like... Chameleon-San? Hey, not so loud. I'm trying to be discreet here. Dressed like that, you might as well just wear a giant flashing neon sign that says, I'm Chameleon-San. So you're the one who dressed as me yesterday? You're awfully pretty. I think I'm going to draw you. Flashbacks to when the fake Chica took the stand. It's the same voice and everything. Wow, so that's what you really look like. I've only ever seen you in the costume of me before. Chica, I think she is wearing a costume right now, too. She probably wouldn't give away her true identity that easily. What are you doing here, Chameleon-San? I thought you'd have wanted to do nothing to do with this trial. Didn't you claim that you were innocent? Listen, you. After our little confrontation yesterday, I thought about what we talked about. Perhaps I came off a little too antagonistic. I apologize for my arrogance, but I do still maintain that I was not the one who committed the crime. The reason I'm here is this. If you do end up pointing the finger at me, I'm not going to deal with it by running away anymore. I intend to face them directly, as long as I don't have to reveal my true identity. But I must warn you, my stay in Numazu ends tonight. I won't be around tomorrow, or any time after that. Hey Joe, I came to say hi. There'll be a new Ultra Kill update in a few seconds, so I'll be playing that. I wish you good luck and hope you'll have fun with Gyakuten. I'll be skipping stream today, sorry. No, you're all good, man. I just thought I'd let you know as well, like, because of the, whatchamacallit, notifications. Or actually, do I even need to let you know anymore? Because didn't you fix that? I think so, anyway. But anyway, thanks for letting us know, man. You're all good, like. Go enjoy that Ultra Kill update. Well, in any case, thank you for fighting fair. So you're the punk that's been causing all this trouble. Ready for the beating of your life, chump? Hey, back off. I said I don't intend on making this any more difficult. Yeah, I fixed. I thought I told you, though. I appreciate it regardless. I know, then I'll stop notifying you as well, then. Because I forgot, like, I think it was one stream. I just remembered there as you were saying all this now. Or as you appeared in chat. And it's like, I just remembered, like, I think didn't you just, like, unfollow or no, you didn't unfollow. I think you just turned off the bell and turned it back on or something like that. I finished my Genshin grind for today since its weekly reset. Oh, yeah. I think I was in Genshin for like 2 seconds and I was like, fuck this, we're going to do some stuff because like I seen that it was actually sunny outside. And I was like, I gotta get outside. I gotta get outside. Oh, shoot, let me take a sip of water as well. Ah, yeah, that was it, yeah. Grand, yeah. Sure, don't let me hold you too long if you're, like, literally just getting into Ultra Kill now, like. Have fun, man. Oh, yeah, sorry, I read that. Canon, relax, please. Chameleon-San came out here, or came here out of her own volition. Volition. She wants to resolve this peacefully, just like the rest of us. I swear I had, like, a premonition of, like, this in a dream. Where I was reading this, and that I read those exact same words about Canon wanted to beat her up, and then she's like, nah. Unless I'm just thinking of another dream or something that was very similar. Anyway, have fun. Sorry for taking y'all's time. Tell Crack it's a W game if they are here. No, you don't have to apologize. I know you're an apologetic person, but you don't have to apologize for chatting. Like, you're all good, man. But yeah, I will tell them if I do see them today. W game, W dev. I don't know if I can believe that after she ran away from us twice in a row. I ran the first time because I was still under my client's instructions. I was to maintain the illusion. I had no choice but to flee. The second time I refused to let myself fall under anyone's custody. I was so sure that I had nothing to do with the incident. But, as I realized last night, nothing in this world is ever 100% certain. Nothing in this world is ever 100% certain? It's about time to go in, you. Ready? Ready as I'll ever be. Now that Chameleon's here, or Chameleon-San's here, we might be able to get her to testify, but we need to prove her involvement first. Let's see if we can take what little information we have and get a miracle out of it. Back to Mary's Funhouse. Literally, yeah, Mary's Funhouse, like. Welcome back to Mary's Funhouse, everyone. We're back to the trial of Yuchichi stealing the sculpture or whatever. Yesterday, a fake witness forced us to stop the trial and throw out half the testimonies we got. Oh no. So I ask you all to forget the testimonies from the second half of the trial yesterday. All we know is that there was a fake chica, but that was no connection to anything right now. Capiche? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Whatever. Hey, prosecutor, can you give us a rundown of the trial yesterday? and what we've talked about, minus the stuff that was thrown out. Oh, yeah, fine. So basically, we know the defendant, Watanabe Yo, was tasked to guard the sculpture Teke Teke Reborn. The sculpture vanished between 10 and 11:15 at around 11. Or at around 11, the witness swapped places with her friend, Chika. However, the defendant is responsible for the actions of her replacement. There was a transfer of responsibility. Since the sculpture must have vanished during the time either of them was responsible for guarding it, the blame must go to Watanabe Yo. Well, then it's your opening statement, or what's your opening statement, prosecution? Currently, the evidence speaks for itself. As we have established, the defendant or her substitute are the only ones who had the opportunity to commit the crime. There is currently no evidence to suggest that there was any third party involved in this incident. Remember, half the testimony was thrown out. If the defense wishes to assert that a third party was involved, then they're the ones that need to substantiate that theory. Judging by Maki's reaction, it seems like she already knows what we're about to do. In that case, I'm going to give her exactly what she's anticipating. Well, defense, are you going to assert that there was a third party involved? Yes, Your Honor. We have word that although she was invited to cover for Yo, Chika had also invited another person to cover for herself. Oh, a stacked transfer of responsibility. Not really. Since Chika never bothered to tell anyone about the switcheroo before doing it, a transfer of responsibility never took place. I must point out that this still won't vindicate the defendant. Imagine if Yo herself had invited a stranger to guard an important piece of art without telling anyone. Equivalently, doing so is an instance of negligence on Chika's part. As a result, it is also negligence on the defendant's part. Jeez, this is bringing me back to college, that word. The negligence and all that. Because I did a semester of law back in college, like. Gee, she's got us at every corner. Are you still going to try to prove that the crime was perpetrated by Chameleon-San? To be honest, I don't know. But I've got to carry this torch as far as I can. After all, even if a defense attorney can't get a complete acquittal, it's still her job to clear her client on as many charges as possible. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Chika and Yo to the stand. Come on, let's get Yo and Chika in here. Name and occupation. Oh, yeah. I can't. Okay, how am I meant to read all this? You guys are just gonna have to read all that. I can't read all that out at the same time. Okay, there we go. I just heard like a sound effect in the back as well. Oh, it's just Chika blinking. I didn't even know Chika blinking made a sound effect. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? One at a time, alright? Let's start with the one on the... with the grotesque beacon head. Also, stop blinking so damn loudly! Sorry. My name is Takami Chika. I'm the leader of Aqua, and I help run Touchman Inn with my family. And I'm Watanabe Yo. I'm one of Aqua's costume designers, and I'm an employee at Sea Paradise. Wow, this is the first time two witnesses are taking the stand right off the bat, huh? It's also the first time our client is on the witness stand. This could get hectic. Witnesses, I need you two to testify about the full story about the switch-ups and the shift covering, alright? Yes, ma'am. Will do, Lawyer Chan. Come on, Chika. You've got my back, right? Yeah, it's time to let him know what really happened. Sorry, my ear... I just need to make sure my ear is grounded. My ear was like blocked up there earlier. I just want to make sure it's empty. No thoughts, no brains left. Oh, shit, sorry. I keep bumping the headset off the mic. The big switch. You all talked about this yesterday, but it was indeed true that I had asked Chika to swap places with me at 11 around the time of the crime. But listen here, I ended up taking Chameleon-San, or asking Chameleon-San to disguise herself as me and cover Yo's shift instead. Yo said I was the only one who could cover for her, so that's why I asked Chameleon-San to take over. so that she could pretend to be me. I never went to see Paradise on the day of the crime. It was Chameleon-San. And I never even saw the sculpture after 10:10. It couldn't have been me. So you're saying that neither of you ever touched the sculpture? Yeah. The last time I saw the sculpture, it was right where it belonged. And I wasn't even at Sea Paradise on the day of the crime, so you've got that to consider. Oh, she's tapping her head with that weird red thing again. What's the deal with that? I didn't even notice until she pointed it out as well, like... all I'm saying is both of us are innocent. We didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I thought for a minute that was like a piece of the trident or something like that. I'm like, imagine she was just holding a piece of Teki Teki Reborn the entire time, like. Objection. You shouldn't commit pre-jury on the stand. Pre-jury? What's that? She's saying that we're lying, Chica. That's what pre-jury means. I would like to remind everyone that the walrus thing was seen at 11:15. The witness is claiming that this Chameleon-San was the one who was actually in the costume. For those unaware, Chameleon-San is an internet influencer. Her true identity is unknown. However, I have done research on this person, as it was brought up to me in investigations yesterday. I spent some time looking through her video archives. Based on her appearance in her videos, comparing her size to that of her co-stars with known heights, I have deduced that her height is somewhere in the 160 to 164 centimeter range. Well, we know she's 161, right? Because she said that when she was Rico. Or is she lying? No, she wouldn't have been. No, I don't think she was lying because the Ophidan would have went off. Oh, that means she could not have been able to wear the Uchichi costume with its steel frame as a limiting factor. Precisely. The witnesses are attempting to take us for fools. But it's true. It wasn't either of us. I must point out that these two are close friends and have been for most of their lives. Them being willing to commit pre-jury to protect one another is not surprising. I'm aware, but let's get the cross-examination going. Maybe there's more to it than just that. Yeah, please. There may be an explanation for this contradiction. I wonder. Why is it, IMO? Well, it's a stretch, and we've got no evidence of this. But if Chameleon-San is as good with disguises as it seems, she could have brought her own Uchichi body, right? You know what? I genuinely never even thought of that. I actually didn't even think that she could have brought her own Uchichi costume. No, but what? Didn't Joe said that she swapped places with her? No, because no, still. Oh, yeah. Could still work. Hold on, I have to write that down as well. Did Cam-chan bring her own costume? Because that would throw a wrench in things if we could find that out, like. It's definitely a possibility. For the moment, though, we'll just have to keep note of it. Right now, I've got nothing to suggest that she brought anything to the aquarium besides herself. Wait, no, everything's round. At this point, I should pretend the steel-framed Uchichi outfit is the only one available, and focus on trying to figure out how Chameleon-San could have had an alternative. We've been trying to find an answer to this since yesterday, and I don't think Yo and Chica are lying. In that case, how could Chameleon-San have worn a Uchichi costume? Cross-examination! The big switch. Talked about this yesterday, but is he true? Okay, I'm gonna just push them and see if I can do the excuse me thing when I see them looking suspicious. Yesterday, Chica told me that you had asked her to meet up in front of the observation deck. That means you actually met up with Chameleon-San instead, right? I guess so. Someone who appeared to be Chica approached me at the observation deck right before I took off. I didn't realize at the time, but it must have been Chameleon-San. At that point, I didn't know that Chica had asked her to go in her steed. You didn't realize it was her? No, she came a little late, so I was in a bit of a rush. I hadn't discussed the task with Chica before the day of the crime. Because of that, I had to go full motor mouth telling her what to do, and that she was supposed to guard the sculpture. She didn't even have a chance to say anything to me before I took off, so I never heard her voice. I'm just gonna wait a minute and look at Chica as like she talks, just to see if she changes her animation. As for appearance, she did a bang-up job on the disguise. I wasn't wearing my glasses at the time, so all the subtler differences flew over my head. So that explains that. She also mistook the fake Rico for the real Rico yesterday for the same reasons. But again, why isn't Joe wearing her glasses now? Like, can she not... Yo, have you not learned at this point to just wear your glasses? Like, just double check. You never know. Chica, did you have anything to add to that? Me? What? Guess not. But listen here. I had a... Oh yeah, I already read it. I don't know why I keep rereading the same things again. We discussed this yesterday, but could you tell the rest of the court why you chose to have Chameleon-San replace you? Let the text finish, okay. I had somewhere to go. It was important, so I had to skip out on the favor Yo asked for me. Vague, non-specific accounts of events aren't very convincing. Let's hear you talk about where you went, with whom, and for what reason. Well, I went to a beach nearby with a few others. They wanted me to search for anomalies, but they wouldn't tell me what exactly they meant. They? Who's they? Well, first off, there were my sisters, Mitone and Shimase. As for the other two, the first of Shima's friends had brown hair in a side plait, and I think she was sick or something. The other one, she was really cool, had a leather jacket and long black hair. Half her hair was red. I fucking knew it was going to be Kuroko. It's literally like Shiriko's sister, like. I guess this information has nothing to do with our case, but for some reason it sparked something within the recesses of my memories. Why is that? And then just, again, you never know. Maybe I missed a subtle animation difference and I didn't even notice it. Yo, do you have anything to add to that? No, I'll let you know if I think of something. Guess not. Hold it! For the record, is that true, Yo? Did you tell her that? Yeah. It was, you know, actually, sorry, I know I'm cutting this off in between as well. Okay, Chica doesn't look like she's different. I just realized, well, if I have that, then what's the point of that? Because if I do that... Oh, I know, voice mod... Oh, yeah, it only comes through the voice mod joke as well. The window capture is only thing, and the sound alerts are only sound alerts. So that won't double. Okay. I just had to make sure of that. Yeah, it was like you've been saying, the metal frame inside the costume prevents anyone without my proportions from wearing it. As it turns out, Chica has the same proportions as me. That's why I said only she could do it. But I misunderstood, Joe. I thought that my appearance or something was why she picked me. I thought Chameleon-San could fit the job requirements. A series of miscommunications all around. It's unfortunate that it had to turn out this way. Sorry, Yo. I didn't want you to be disappointed at me. I didn't want to break my promise. Hey, don't worry about it. I was trying to protect you from being involved in this crime once it happened. I was trying to look out for you. Well, the whole reason I called Chameleon-San is because I didn't want you to be left without anyone to take over. I was also trying to look out for you. I was trying to look out for Yo. Yeah, we look out for each other. A good mentality to have, but right now it's done more harm than good. And just to double check, there was no excuse me point. No. And this will probably be the same. Here's the problem. Like Maki said, Chameleon-San could not have put the Uchichi costume on. We also established yesterday that there was no other costumes for her to use besides the one with the steel frame. But Rico clearly saw someone using an Uchichi costume. And that is weird. I have no clue how she managed that. Maybe she shrank a bit? Shrank? I don't think even a master's disguise can shave several centimeters off her height. Regardless, we maintain that we're telling the truth. Chameleon-San must be a very clever person. Maybe she found a workaround. Yo, are you sure that Chameleon-San couldn't have somehow squeezed herself into Yuchichi body? My heart says no because I know we're innocent, but my brain says yes because it doesn't make any sense. She should be too tall to fit. Ugh, how did she manage to do it? And I never saw the sculpture after 1010. It couldn't have been me. Hold on, is there already a contradiction there? Yeah, it is. It's not. Yeah, because it literally says photo taken by Yo at 10:10. What? Wait, what do you mean that's not it? Huh? No, she said she couldn't have seen. Wait, did I read that wrong? Wait, I was trying to press back. Did I press present by accident? You tell me. You must be really itching to present stuff today. What idiot put the back and present button so close to each other? I'm gonna sue someone, I swear. So, and I never even saw the sculpture. Oh, wait, sorry. After 10:10, it couldn't have been me. Sorry, I jumped too fast to the evidence or thing. You said between 10:10 and 10:20, you left this scene to put on the costume, right? Yeah, as I said before, that means it's possible for someone to have taken the sculpture in that interval. Neither of us were responsible for it at the time. I must point out the defense is currently claiming that a third party was involved in this crime. The witnesses have stated that this supposed third party didn't appear on the scene until about 11. This window of opportunity has no connection to this alleged Chameleon-San, unless you are now attempting to prove the culprit appeared during this 10-minute interval. This discussion is pointless. She's right, I'm trying to prove that Chameleon-San had something to do with this, but how? Oh shit, am I meant to present something? You don't seem to be making any progress, defense. Would you like to give up? Huh? Well, I just think it's pretty clear that the witnesses are saying the impossible. Their accounts of the events are incompatible with the established facts. No, if I give up now, I won't be able to show that Chameleon-San was involved in this case. And how do you intend to prove that? You've had plenty of opportunities. Well, right now there are several factors that suggest that Chameleon-San was not present at Sea Paradise at the time of the crime. First off, there is zero tangible evidence of this switch occurring. The only evidence is testimony given by the culprit herself, and the culprit's closest friend, which are prone to falsification. Second, we know for a fact that someone was wearing the walrus costume at 11. Rico had stated that she saw this yesterday. Ooh, the pressure. As established, the walrus costume or whatever doesn't fit Chameleon-San. She's too tall. I know, but... What's with you? Don't interrupt me! Third, Rico said that she followed the walrus to the entrance area when it vanished. That means it most likely went into the employee area. It couldn't have gone into the invertebrate section, and it couldn't have simply left the aquarium either. Really? Why's that? Remember, the invertebrate section had a faulty screener that would have reacted to the sue. Rico would have reported hearing it. As for why it couldn't have just left the aquarium, there's always someone at the gate, and the only time the walrus was seen leaving was way after the crime. And that was the time Yo showed us the Uchichi costume when we first talked to her. I had a conversation with the aquarium director after Sea Paradise closed yesterday. She had told me that you need to have approved clearance to access the employee area in the form of a temporary staff badge. But I did give her the staff badge that Yo gave me. And you have evidence that this exchange took place? Well, the burden of proof is on the claim maker. Without evidence to the contrary, it's clear that Chameleon-San was never at Sea Paradise. Drink water. Unless, of course, you'd like to challenge that assertion. Challenge the assertion? I've got to do it, right? There must be some way to open up the possibility that Chameleon-San was at Sea Paradise. Maki's got her case bolted down otherwise. I might have to temporarily take a step back. I may have to introduce a new contradiction to solve this contradiction. It could be the only option I've got. Yes, I've got to once again provide an alternative perspective on the situation. If I have to move a goalpost just to hold out a bit longer, I might have to do it. The question is, which assertion do I challenge? Do I need to think, or I need to think carefully? Let's see. I think I have the evidence to prove a new perspective on the following topic. It'd have to be the vertebrae, right? Because we discovered that was actually the octopus. No, never mind. I think I have evidence to suggest that Chameleon-San might not have gone through the vertebrae section after this. Is that correct? Yeah, because we've found out it was an octopus. Your Honor, I'm going to challenge the assertion that Yuchichi went through the vertebrae section. Okay, let's see the evidence. Oh, no, I'm right. Let's go! First thing I have to present, and I'm doing good. I'd like everyone to take a look at Rico's sketch from the trial yesterday. Oh, wait, no, this is the second thing, isn't it? Because I already lost some health from the trial yesterday. And that's the sketch of the creature that cannot identify it as a snake or an eel or something, right? Yeah, but yesterday we discovered another potential creature that this may actually depict. You see, we found out there's a... Excuse me. We found out there's a mimic octopus at the aquarium. And it turns out that mimic octopi can take on a form that looks just like what's shown in Rico's drawing here. Oh, but if it's an octopus, that means... Octopi are invertebrates. That means there's a possibility that Yuchichi actually went through the invertebrate section after all. Shut up! Members of Mario's Funhouse, if it turns out that Yuchichi had actually passed through the invertebrate section, that raises an interesting problem. The costume would have set off the security screeners, but they didn't. Rico said so yesterday. This would mean that whatever costume was used had no metal in it. That's right. A leap in logic. We know for a fact that there are banded snake eels in Sea Paradise as stated by the detective yesterday. Just because Rico might have seen the octopus, that doesn't mean that she must have. That perspective doesn't have a leg to stand on. Actually, it has 8 legs to stand on. Oh wait, wrong one. I meant to actually press that. What are you talking about? If you recall from yesterday's testimony, Rico had said that Yuchichi turned a corner, and that's how she lost track of him. This could only happen if they left the invertebrate section. We couldn't answer that question back then, but this development suggests that the octopus explanation is more likely than the eel explanation, doesn't it? Uh-huh. And how do you suggest we do away with the fact that there were no other costumes to use? Well, I'm currently unsure, but that doesn't matter right now. What does matter is that we investigate this contradiction further. The possibility of Chameleon-San being the culprit is still open. Fine. Then allow me to close that possibility for you. What? Recall that the defense said that she saw Chica at the time the crime happened, not some other person. Yeah, because Chameleon-San is good at disguises. She was obviously disguising herself as Chica at the time. No disguise was used. Huh? How could you... If you're claiming that this Chameleon-San was disguised as Chica, then she must have had a costume, including a wig. Fortunately for me, you had given me the orange hairs recovered from the walrus head for testing yesterday. Uh-oh, here it comes to bite me in the rear. Unfortunately, the DNA test results have not yet returned. They won't be here for a little while longer. However, I can confirm that the orange hairs are organic. They aren't artificial. They're real natural hairs. Wait a minute. That doesn't mean she didn't use a wig. Plenty of wigs are made of human hair. It's possible that she simply had a wig that wasn't synthetic. You really don't get it, do you? Wigs made from human hair uses hair that's been donated. When someone wants to donate their hair, what do they do with it? They've got to cut it off, of course. Exactly. So I inspected the hairs under the microscope to look for the roots, or lack thereof. Roots? When a hair is cut, it doesn't take its root with it. That should be obvious, since you're cutting it somewhere in the middle. That means if a wig is made from human hair, then you shouldn't expect to find any roots. But guess what? The orange hairs that you gave me does have their roots. Sort of like this sample I'm showing you here. But that's supposed to be... That's a maniac deciding to donate hair that they tore out of their head. And this is what the root of the hair looks like if it's not torn out of your head. Bro, she's got everything covered. You thought of everything. My point is, the orange hairs found in the walrus head have their roots intact. And it couldn't have come from any time before the crime since it was cleaned beforehand. There is only one possible conclusion to draw. These hairs came directly from Chica's head on the day of the crime. No, that can't be true. Say what you want, the evidence speaks for itself. Evidence. Just the Maki thing again. And the evidence is saying that there was no Chameleon-San. What does that leave us? Well, I think that's a wrap. Mario's Funhouse may be coming to an end very soon. No. Sorry, defense. I don't want it to end either, but what more is there to say? Right now, the prosecution has thoroughly substantiated the notion that only Yo or Chica could have been responsible for the sculpture disappearing now. But in the police report, there's the extra bag, right? Your Honor, please wait. There must be an explanation for all this. Really? What do you have in mind? Those orange hairs being directly from Chica's head is an awfully convincing story. If you have an explanation to dismiss this theory, what is it? I admit that it's an awfully good point Maki's brought up, but what's the best way to dispel this perspective? If I don't think of something now, the trial will be over. I need to come up with an explanation. Your Honor, the hairs found in the Yuchichi head may have been orange with the roots intact, but I have a theory that I can't prove that because she dresses differently. The wig is made from shed hairs. To be fair, Chameleon-San is very freakish with making the costumes and stuff. Fuck it, what's not that? What if the wig was just made from a gazillion naturally shedded hairs? Like the ones without the cutoff or messed up roots? Huh? Well, I mean, the hair you found has its roots intact, right? Maybe all the hairs on the wig, that wig were made from shedded hairs. So you're suggesting that someone collected their shed off hairs for years and years just to donate them to make a wig? Is that all? Is that right? Well, maybe just some of the hairs on the wig were shedded hairs. Huh. So you're suggesting that the wig is made of like 100,000 cut off hairs, and we just happened to find a non-cut off hair that just happened to get mixed in with the cut hairs. Yeah. Yeah. No. Sorry. Looks like Maki's case is watertight. It doesn't look like you have an explanation after all. Unless you'd like to try poking a hole in it again. See, I don't think it was left by Yo. Is there... Because Yo didn't show Chica the Yuchichi costume until Thing. So it's probably either that. Though I said that, so... It could have been planted as well. Because Chameleon-San was trying to actually... I say planted. No, okay. I've dealt with forged evidence before, and so have you, Maki. So don't you think it could have been possible that the true culprit planted those hairs to throw us off? That may be the case. Don't be ridiculous. When the heck would they have had the chance to do that? When? According to Yo, she didn't discuss the task with Chica before the day of the crime, because Chica didn't know that means Chameleon-San would have not have known. If this Chameleon-San did steal the sculpture, it would have had to been not premeditated. She wouldn't have been able to prepare any hairs to plant before the crime. But what about after? Oh, excuse me. After the crime, the head was left at Sea Paradise for repairs until the detective picked it up and showed it to you. Yo then found the hairs and kept them until you gave them to me. Or you, sorry. You're the one who found the hairs. You've had them the whole time. The only one who could have planted anything is you. That doesn't look good. Sorry. Looks like Maki's case is watertight. Because I don't think it'd be Yo that... Yeah, okay, so... I think it's possible. It's possible that Chameleon-San just happens to have orange hair, colored hair herself, isn't it? Huh? Well, you said it yourself yesterday. You've been noticing proportionately large number of orange-haired women as of late. It's a possibility, right? Chameleon-San having orange hair. But all the images of her I've seen show her with dark brown hair. You know, it's always tied up in a huge ponytail and everything. Yeah, at the same time, people say that she's never shown her true identity. That even her most common appearance is a disguise. Instead of naturally having brown hair and needing an orange wig, I think she actually naturally has orange hair and uses a brown wig. Isn't that possible? You might be onto something. I think that's a definite possibility. Unfortunately, at this point, a possibility isn't good enough. Oh no, even after all that? Good, I think it's time we wrap up this trial. Darn, sorry yo, I guess my help wasn't good enough. Hey, don't worry about it, you helped me plenty. Even if I lose my job, I'll get it back eventually. Sorry yo, but I'm gonna have to say that you're... Is Chameleon gonna walk up? Yeah, there, she's gonna actually walk up, like. The lights went off! Hey, what gives? Turn the lights back on, will you? What's going on here? Who did this? Oh, is it? Oh, it's Yohane, isn't it? It's fucking Yohane. It won't be fucking Yeah, it's Yohane. Thought you could get away with ending this party without me, huh? She's doing the thing again. You just see the eyes as well, like, Yoshiko, could you skip the theatrics and tell us what's going on? My, so impatient for someone who's been driven into a corner, but I'll entertain that request. Scary, yeah. As you know, I've been conducting my investigation of my own, and I found quite a few clues pertaining to our suspect. They're just eyes, yeah. And now, I delivered them to this fateful trial. Be grateful, and give your praise to Yohane. Yes, it's my groundbreaking evidence that will turn this case around. Yeah, you're a bit late for that. Mari's going to end the trial right now, so... what do you mean end the trial? I just got here! Just as well, like, Hadamaru's there. It's already over? Gosh darn it, I told you shouldn't have taken dang old detour to the game store, Zura. Never mind that. We're here to testify about what we found. Oh boy, you are not ready for this. You're right, we're not, because the judge doesn't need any more evidence. Huh? But we spent all day yesterday searching for these. Let me talk about them. Sorry, friends. I've already made up my mind. But I want to present our evidence. I wanna. Wah. Poor Hadamaru, she has to put up with this. Hey, bro. Alright, shut up already! Let's hear your testimony, just pipe down! Well, if the prosecution allows it, I guess we can have one more testimony. Let's have a short recess so the witnesses can be prepared. Uh-oh, I'm late. Eesh. With no game audio? Is there no game audio? There definitely was game audio the whole time. No, definitely. Damn, I fucked up. Wait. Really? The one day! The desktop audio... It's because I wanted to have the desktop audio on. Because that one was, like, synced up better to the game or something like that. But for whatever reason, it's disconnected. Did it come from this one? Okay, there we go. She is a big baby. Ben, how dare you? Or Joe, how dare you? Right, anyway, we're gonna restart and go back for the... No, okay. Look, we've already gotten this far in. I can't restart at this point. It's been nearly 50 minutes in. Thanks, Crack, for letting us know. How are you keeping? Let me read that again. Well, if the prosecution allows it, I guess we can have one more testimony. Let's have a short recess so the witness can be prepared. It's okay, it was the usual music. Ah, yeah. No prepare, only testify. Well, before we do anything, we should probably start by introducing ourselves, or, I guess we should do that. Names and occupations? My name is Yohane. I'm a fallen angel. Go to hell. Why, you little... Relax, Zura. She's just being a little weirdo. Don't take what she says too seriously now, Zura. Yoshiko here, well, she's a bit big-headed in front of the camera, Zura. But I promise y'all she ain't getting better. Or that she's getting better. Yoshiko, wait, are you the one who hates Mikans? Yeah, you got a problem with that? Not at all, I myself am a fellow Mikan hater. Finally, someone with good taste! Big-headed. I can't believe a third of Aqua likes Mikan. Do you know how badly the smell of that crap fills the air during lunchtime? Forehead, more like 5-head. That means you, Zuramaru. Cut back on the Mikans, will you? I'm not thinking I will, Zura. By the way, where the heck did Joe and Chika go? Did they get scared off by Yoshiko's shenanigans? Anyway, brown girl, name and occupation. Kunikita Hanamaru, Zura. Don't mind me much, y'all. I'm just here to help out wherever I can. Alright, Yoshiko and Hanamaru, Zura. Talk about the stuff you two found, so we can end this damn trial already. Okay, can you get this for next week's video, Zuramaru? Wait, did she call her by Yoshiko as well? She didn't even say Yohane or anything, but then again, she probably wouldn't against Maki, because Maki would be pretty terrifying against her. No problem, Zura. Here's the testimony of the new and improved Yohane. Witness testimony. Independent findings. During our investigations, we stopped by Touchman Inn before the family came back. Since nobody was home, I went next door and asked Riri for a key. That granted me access. When I got inside, a brand new duffel bag caught my eye. It had like sewing stuff and an air pump in it for some reason, and it still had its big freaking price tag attached to it. I also found a staff badge for Sea Paradise or whatever. Isn't that weird? So there you have it. Chika went to Sea Paradise at the time of the crime. There's no other reason why those things were found in the inn. Wow, that testimony changed absolutely nothing. It changed everything! There was a duffel bag, there was the badge, the same bag that was in the actual Sea Paradise, and it's in Chika's house? I'll say, it was all damning evidence for someone we were already going to find guilty. What a waste of time. And that said, all of this definitely makes Chika look more guilty, doesn't it? After all, the duffel bag found in Chika's house had the exact same contents as what was written in the police report. Not to mention, the staff badge at Chika's house suggests that she never gave it to Chameleon-San. Did you bring these items to the trial today? Sorry, no. I was afraid that the family could come back and find something missing, and that Riri would let them know if it was me who took it. Have you met Mito-san? She's incredibly scary if she gets pissed off. I guess it's whatever. Not like it'll make a difference at this point. Well, you've had your fun. Let's get the guilty verdict rolling so I can leave. I can prove against this. Hang on, the defense has a right to cross-examine this witness. You're still going to cross-examine Yoshiko? But the case is practically unwinnable for you now, right? The evidence against your case is overwhelming. But maybe so, but I've still got to try. The defense will assist or assert its right to cross-examine the witness, and that's final. I guess we have no choice, huh? Let's see how the defense deals with this. Fine, whatever. I'll just stand here and sip my tea. Not like you can find a way out of this ditch you're in anyway. I can't just give up. Despite the slim odds, I've got to find a way around this. Cross-examination. I feel like if you took every time I say cross-examination, you could make the kind of meme of like, Full Metal Alchemists. Full Metal Alchemists. Independent findings. I know exactly what I need to go to. Okay, wait. Touchman Inn. So during we stopped by before the family came back. Okay, no, hold on, wait. I think what I need to present, right, is this. The fact that this was Chameleon-San, and that duffel bag was probably given, or like put into the house at this point. And I need to also say that well actually the duffel bag doesn't, yeah, okay, it has to be the photo then. The photo, but at what point, Joe? What made you go to Chika's house, Yoshiko? I could pursue with Hanamaru as well. Someone who appeared to be Chika went into the aquarium, right? I figured I'd check her in out first. I hit the jackpot of evidence pretty early in my search. Yohane is a genius. What about afterwards? Did you find any evidence in any other places? Unfortunately, no. Every other place was devoid of useful evidence. Yohane is so unlucky. I'm at work again. Oh no. Oh no, you're all good, yeah. Hope I'm not being too distracting when you're working, like. So when you succeed, it's your intelligence, but when you fail, you blame your luck. No biases here. Or there. I will always do the excuse me first before anything else. Hanamaru, did you have anything to add to that? I ain't got nothing to add, Zura. Everything's looking alright to me. I guess not. Was she even holding the camera, or was the camera... I guess it just wasn't there. I actually thought the middle of her shirt was like part of the tripod. And since nobody was home, I went next door and asked Riri for a key. That granted me access. Wait, press 3. My fingers were in the wrong place. Riri, is Riko-san right? She had a key to the inn? Yeah. Chika and Riko's families are pretty close now, so they ended up exchanging house keys because they trust each other. Makes sense since they're neighbors. Good thing Riri was home. She was practicing her piano or something at the time. So Riko went home after the trial yesterday. She had no idea that Chameleon-San was at the aquarium, pretending to be her. Oh, excuse me. Oh no, have fun at work, yeah. That's for you, Crack. Hanro, anything to add? Caught my eye. Are you sure that's what you saw? Content and all? Yep. Fabric knife, sewing kit, clothing, air pump, yada yada yada. Air pump actually is an interesting thing to say. Ah, so it was her. Or it could have been her or someone else that took the alternative costume, didn't have a steel frame, and pumped up the costume on the inside so it looked inflated still. Or inflated like balloons or something like that inside. Yada yada yada. Can't forget the huge honking price tag. I don't mean huge as in expensive, I mean huge as in big. It was like the size of a composition book. I guess it was fresh out of the shop because it looked brand new as well. Not a hint of age or wear anywhere. But isn't that weird? Chika isn't known for doing clothes. Why would she have a bag with sewing stuff in it? Who knows? Maybe she borrowed it from Yo for the day or something. Something doesn't add up here. What's the real reason this bag was found in Chika's inn? Fuck, it's not that. Contracts with the same. Really? I don't see why though. Maybe I'm wrong. Can you spare me penalty just this once? Okay, sure thing. Okay, so it probably will be that. Oh, actually, I didn't even pursue as well. Excuse me. Anything to add? Yo had given Chika the staff badge to enter Sea Paradise and access the employee area. Chika should have given it to Chameleon-San. Well, apparently she didn't. It was found right there on the front desk. It was a badge that was issued to Watanabe Yo. So it definitely didn't come from some other place or person. Rats. That is a really damning piece of evidence. And then in case like Hanamaru's eye twitched or something during that. So there you have it. There's no other reason why those things were found in the inn. Oh wait, I meant to present it here. But Chika maintained that she never set foot in Sea Paradise on the day of the crime. I don't know what to tell you. If she never set foot in Sea Paradise, why was her bag found there? And if she gave her staff badge to Cham-chan, then why was it found in her inn? Frankly, I think she's lying. There's gotta be a logical explanation for this, but what? Everything Yoshiko said has been highly incriminating. I agree, I can't believe we've just gotten that much more damning evidence in one fell swoop like that. Well, good thing is, you might also be able to discredit that evidence in one fell swoop if they're closely related enough. Let's see, we're of the belief that Chica is innocent, right? Then how did all that damning evidence get there? Yeah, number 5 picture. It has to be that. It has to be the picture. Yeah, see, I was on the right trail. I just presented it on the wrong one. Because at the end there's like something doesn't add up there. And I thought, oh, maybe it's this one I put it on. But no, it's this one I was meant to put it on. So, Yoshiko, you say that those items found in Touchman Inn proves that Chica must have been the one who went to see Paradise, huh? Yohane! And yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's not necessarily true. Here's a photo of Chameleon-San as she appeared yesterday. Is it now? And how can you be sure that this is Chameleon-San and not the actual Chica? Well, you've been doing research on her height, haven't you? I'm 156 centimeters tall. How tall does the Chica in this photo look? Admittedly, she seems to be a notable amount taller than you are. Right? But the real Chica is only 157 tall. The height disparity suggests that this is not the real Chica. So she's the wrong height. That doesn't mean that she's necessarily Chameleon-San. And what does this have to do with the case? It's plenty relevant. You see, when we met at Touchman Inn yesterday, she had been trying to feed Shiitake, which is Takami's dog. Right after that, she went inside the inn. Huh? So you're saying... That's exactly right. Chameleon-San had access to the inn for the entire time. I love how fucking obnoxious the wings are there, like... Shut up! It looks like the fake Chica was tasked to feed Shiitake and check on the inn. This supports the notion that she is Chameleon-San because it lines up with the narrative that Chica had hired her the whole time. Not only that, but the fact that Chameleon-San had access to the inn makes it so that Chica is not the only potential culprit. It opens up the possibility that Chameleon-San was the one who left those items there. Even if you claim that, that stuff can still very well belong to the Mikan head. It doesn't change anything. The narrative that we've been building so far hasn't been affected at all. Well, not quite. Not quite? Explain yourself. Here's the thing. As this testimony has shown us, this duffel bag found in Chica's inn is most likely the same one found by the police. Chica doesn't do clothes, but Chameleon-San does. The items inside the bag make it much more likely that the bag belongs to her than Chica. But there's one more important thing. If the duffel bag does belong to her, that means it's possible that Chameleon-San had brought her own Yuchichi costume inside it. Her own costume? Oh yay, I knew you could figure out a way to work my silly little theory in. Bravo. Wowee! Her own Yuchichi body? Could that be possible? I've got to admit, it sounds plausible. I hadn't thought of that far ahead. What's wrong, Hanamaru? You look like you're thinking about something. Is the current discussion flawed somehow? It's nothing. I was just thinking about the size of the costume, Zura. Good point, Zuramaru. Could a costume even have fit in the bag when we saw her carrying? I know it was a big bag, but... I think I'm starting to use wrong voices, I've just realized. I don't know why. Okay, focus. You saw her carrying the bag? Yep, on the day of the crime. Yoshiko and I were hanging around the entrance of Sea Paradise waiting for Chameleon-San to show up, Zura. See, Yoshiko here had made a big old mess out of things, and she had tracked Chameleon-San down enough to know that she was going to Sea Paradise that day, Zura. Of course, we never ended up seeing no Chameleon-San. Spent the whole dang morning sitting around under the trees, and we only ever saw Chica heading in with the duffel bag, Zura. Hey, don't you hear what you said? That could have been Cham-chan. I just wasn't expecting her to be in a Chica-chan costume, you know? That could have isn't good enough. We have no evidence that this person that they saw was Chameleon-San. For all we know, it could have been the real Chica. Well, I reckon we should testify about the whole shebang from the very beginning, huh? Yes, we should. Let's start this thread over from the top. Of course, let's do this one together, Yoshiko. Witness testimony, day of the crime. I reckon this was about 11 on the day of the crime, Zura. We saw Chica going into the aquarium. She did have that duffel bag on her, she did. But there's no way that the Uchichi outfit could have fit inside. And before you ask, no, she wasn't wearing it on her person either. I don't think there's any way she could have brought a new Chi-Chi costume in. Anyway, a little after Chica had gone and went inside, we saw Yo running out Zura, and that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Wait, and that's all she wrote? Wait, what do you mean that's all she wrote? We saw Yo running out Zura, and that's all she wrote. If Chica never brought in an alternate costume, then the only one available was the one with the steel frame, right? Exactly. As we've established, Chameleon-San is too tall to fit in that one. Chica on the other hand is the perfect size. Are you going to maintain this theory of Chameleon-San using in her costume, you? It's the best opening I have right now. Even if it turns out that she didn't use an alternate costume, this line of questioning buys us time. The alternative is to just have the trial just be over, so keeping this up is better than nothing. The two of them are claiming that the bag isn't big enough for an alternative costume, but could there be something we're missing here? Okay, see, I know how I meant to present this. Cross-examination! But I'm just thinking of how I present it. First we do all the pushes and excuse me's. Yoshiko, you said that you narrowed Chameleon-San's movements down in order to guess that she'd be going to see Paradise, right? How did you do that? Well, on that morning, Cham-chan had put an announcement saying that she may be inactive for the day due to a temporary assignment. Now, I was aware that she was in the Numazu area. Her post included a vague hint that she'd be looking at marine life, so I figured she might be heading to see Paradise. Of course, I had no idea what her assignment was. I didn't think that she may have been disguised as Chica. I must remind the court that we currently have no evidence that the person that these two witnesses saw enter to see Paradise was actually Chameleon-San. Right. I may have been correct in my theory about where Cham-chan was going, or I may have been totally off. Either way, the point is that if we saw someone that appeared to be Chica entering Sea Paradise at 11, I guess I'll have to do the same and not jump to any conclusions just yet. Witness, you said something about her carrying a duffel bag. And then let me just do thing as well. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm using this wrong, it's like I have to wait for them to do the different emotion and do thing. Anything to add? Nothing to add. Cool. So she did have the duffel bag on her, she did, but there's no way that the Uchichi outfit could fit inside it. And do we see the Uchichi bag? Or the thing bag? What does the police report say? A duffel bag was found near the scene of the crime, a bag containing several items of clothing, a fabric knife. So several items of clothing. Could it be? Hardly. It's not that easy, is it? The witness's statement is incorrect, Your Honor. Is it? Can you explain why? I'm not sure. I guess I made a little oopsie boo-boo mistake. Oh. Code error. Error in activation number 1. Step event 0. Crack, I think I found a mistake in the code. I'll just copy and paste what I have on the screen. I know you don't see it, but this is what I was just told. I don't know if that means anything, but that a little like extra window popped up and just said code error. I don't know if that means anything, but again, I'll give you that anyway. Screenshot the error. Alright, thank you. Sorry about that. No, you're all good. Hold on. I'll show you on screen as well. Just let me save it first. I forgot that. Because of the recent video, I just have a file named com.png. But it's a place in Ireland. That's why it says that. It's nothing sus. Okay, hold on. And, okay, let me find that. Can I just, clear? Oh, shit. Abort? Oh, there goes the game. See, this is why streams are helpful, because I also get to see what actions led up to the error. So I was trying to present the police report on, I think, the second option. Let me just show the screenshot itself in case that means anything as well. So it came up in a little window just like this. Actually, I won't delete that. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Whilst I leave that on the screen, I'll reopen the game. I'm breaking the game left, right, and center now. Wait, where? Oh yeah, there's OBS. I think I know what caused it, but I'll have to check later. Yeah, no, you're all good. I'm just happy enough that I actually got to let you know that this just popped up on screen, like 11:58, 21:03. Wait, would it be 21:03? Wait, 24 as well. 23rd. No, that, today, Joe. This one. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I could still always go back in and out of them, but yeah. Right. And then let me just get rid of this off the screen. If you need it, I'll just keep it in my OBS for the rest of the day, but once the day ends, I'll get rid of it out of it, like. Witness testimony. Day of the crime. Cross-examination. No, it's fine. I can just look back on the stream. Oh, yeah. Right, grand. I'll just get rid of that. And eventually I'll get rid of that folder, because the folder I put it in is like a folder I use to put images in when I'm editing a video. So usually that folder will get like cleaned out for when I'm starting on another video like so. Day of the crime. So, okay, I actually just want to see real quick if that happens again. So I objected there. Incorrect. Can you explain why? Okay, so it didn't happen that time. So it must be just because of a certain thing I did during that, like. Sorry to stop everything, but I'm getting a little bit hungry. I think I'm gonna go to our local coffee shop and pick up a croissant and a cup of coffee. But first, based on everything Maki said, I think it's pretty clear that Yo is to be held accountable for this crime now. Sorry, Yo, but I'm gonna have to say that you're... guilty. Teehee. Well, that's all for now. Aviva Dirty. I'll see everyone some other time. Right, okay. We'll actually continue on the right train of thought. Oh, wait, maybe it was the third one. Wait. Oh, hold on. Let me just double check that. Because I might have actually... I just realized now, I think I presented that on the wrong one. Cross-examination. She did have the duffel bag. No, yeah, okay. It was the second one I was going to present that on, so I'm just going to push her on that this time. Can you describe the duffel bag for us? It was like one of those bags that rest on your side with a strap on your shoulder. It was big, but not that big. And like I said, it had its ginormous price tag still attached to it. It had to have been brand spanking new out of the store. I have no clue how big the Uchichi costume was. But if it's anything like Cham-Chan's other outfits, there's no possible way it could have fit. Hanamaru, would you like to add to this? Hanamaru, did you have anything to add to that? I think I do, Zura. I weren't aware that Yoshiko didn't know what the Uchichi costume looked like, so maybe I can fill y'all in on the information she's lacking, Zura. I mean, I've personally never been to see Paradise, besides that one time we shot a PV there. Do I look like I'm into fish, Suramaru? In fact, what even is an Uchichi? Some sort of seaweed? This entire time you didn't even know who Uchichi was? No, but whatever it was, a costume for it probably wouldn't have fit in the duffel bag. I just have to remember that Yoshiko does kind of go on these, like, she kind of just assumes stuff, and obviously she's having a problem as well with it. Anyway, right. Well, it's just more than that, Zura. Uchichi is actually a big old walrus. Walrus? Aren't walruses like those things with the long tusks? Right, and Uchichi is a real chubby guy. A certified Maru, Zura. Chisato would be happy with that. To recreate the chubby, cartoonish look, the costume is padded that way. Even a slim person like Yo could look rounded, Zura. Padded? Point is, my primary reason for why the costume couldn't have fit inside the bag is because it was padded. All that padding makes it impossible to fold into a small size, Zura. I mean, it ain't like y'all can have a costume be both as thick as Uchichi needs to be and compressible enough to fit in a duffel bag, right? Shut up. Oh, no, okay. That makes sense to me. Add this to your testimony, okay? I had a costume as a tree back in elementary school, Zura. It's just randomly, she's like, I was a tree in elementary school. Just letting you know. Guys, I was the tree. I know. It was me. I was that tree in the background. I did such a good job at standing still, guys. That was me. A costume like that's got a padded body to make it look all thick, Zura. Or is there some way for it to have the thick appearance, yet also be thin enough to fit in the baggie? Well, actually, I'm just gonna go to the evidence and yeah, that's what I wanted to do anyway. Actually, there is one way that the costume can be both chubby and foldable. Oh, y'all got an inkling of an idea how it could be done, Zura? Yeah, you're gonna have to explain this to me, because I don't see how a costume can be so thick, yet so compressible at the same time. Normally, you're right, a costume that thick shouldn't be so compressible. However, there's something in this police report that can give us a hint of how Chameleon-San managed to pull it off. Namely, it has to do with the air pump found in the duffel bag. Aha! I get it! In other words, what I'm saying is, the idea of a collapsible costume becomes very possible if you consider that the costume may have been inflatable. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, you're right! That could very well explain how someone could bring such a big costume in a duffel bag. A big round Uchichi costume certainly couldn't be collapsible, but nobody said that the costume had to be both huge and collapsible at the same time. So consider that the Uchichi body could have been inflatable. A properly deflated costume of the sort could take up no more space than a normal set of clothes, and fit easily into the bag. And then, once the culprit arrives at the scene, she can simply inflate the costume with the included air pump. But that would mean Cham-chan just happened to have an Uchichi costume. That can't be possible, right? Perhaps she wouldn't have an Uchichi costume, but as a prolific cosplayer, it's possible that she could have just had a generic inflatable brown costume. If that's the case, then I have no doubt that she could modify it to look like the Uchichi costume. I imagine she should be able to add a name tag and a toe-like feet with her level of skill. Doesn't that make a whole lot of sense? If she was skilled enough to prepare an inflatable costume ahead of time, that would solve the screener discrepancy. That's where you're wrong. But what? It does make a lot of sense at first glance. The presence of an inflatable costume would solve many of the issues with the theory you've been presenting. Oh, but if it was an inflatable costume, then, like, how has the trident of the statue not punctured it? Is that what you're gonna say? Unfortunately for you, there are two fatal problems with the inflatable walrus hypothesis. Those being... What's with you? Have you forgotten Yo's testimony? She had said that she had neglected to tell Chica the details of the job ahead of time. This means that Chica didn't know that she needs to wear the walrus costume. Since you're claiming that Chica hired Chameleon-San, that means she wouldn't have known either. If Chameleon-San didn't know about the details of the job, how could she have prepared the costume ahead of time? I don't know yet, because that was just a warm-up. Members of Maya's dumb house or whatever, take a look at this for me. It's a sculpture as it appeared when it vanished. Yeah, it's pointy. Recall that the sculpture was concealed inside the costume, as the walrus has made its way to the employee area. According to our current narrative, that's the only way it could have been removed from the premises. Now, let me ask you, what is the figure holding in her hand? A trident? That's right, a trident. And it seems to be incredibly pointy. I'd say it constitutes a safety hazard, but that's not the main issue here. Oh, excuse me. If the walrus thing was clumsily holding this sculpture inside an inflatable costume, I'd have no doubt that its body would have been punctured immediately. In that case, there's no way that it could have been an inflatable costume, right? What now, you? That theory just went down the drain. I know, for a fact that Chameleon-San was at the aquarium, but how the heck am I supposed to prove that? I've got nothing left. Maybe Yoshiko or Hanamaru has more testimony. There's gotta be something we can still do. Ask them for more testimony? That doesn't feel like something that would lead to any results. But what choice do I have left? Yoshiko, Hanamaru, isn't there anything else you two can tell us that could give us a hint of the identity of the person you saw walking into Sea Paradise? The identity? I reckon we've said all that we could, Zura. There must be something, anything left. I know that there's more to it than this. Are you going to make a point, or are you getting so desperate that you're just going to badger the witnesses until they make something up? Sorry, but I think that it's over. It's time for Mari's Funhouse to come to an end. This is the end? After all this, I've failed? Yeah, will it be finally Chameleon? Oh, no, it's Yoshiko. Actually, there is one thing I can talk about that could help us confirm the identity of the person that we saw walking into Sea Paradise. You have more? Yoshiko, do you really, or are you just making this up, Zura? I'm serious, Zuramaru! It was the night before the crime. I've got to warn you though, it does absolutely nothing for your case. In fact, it goes against it. So there's no reason to bring this up. We might as well end the trial now. This is bad. The only testimony Yoshiko has left is apparently only harmful to our case. But if I don't take it, the trial will be over. I've got no choice. Yoshiko, the defense requests that you testify about what you saw the night before the crime. Huh? But why? We don't need more testimony if it's just going to further damage your already shattered case. But that said, I'd like Mari's Funhouse to keep going, so I'll leave it to the prosecution. Let me get this straight. You want me to accept a testimony that will further incriminate the defendant, even though the defendant is already guaranteed a guilty verdict at this point? Exactly. Quite a silly thing if you ask for me to ask of you, I admit. But Maki wants to do this right. Witness, testify about what you saw the night before the crime that could validate the identity of the person with the duffel bag. What? What? Wow, I didn't expect you to accept it. I'll bet the defense is grateful. I don't know what to say. Thank you? Don't thank me. It's not like I was trying to help you or anything, you idiot. Remember yesterday you allowed me to test the fake witness memory, even though you didn't need to do that? I don't care if that part of the trial was thrown out. Now we're even. Witness, if you don't mind. Hey, the more I get to testify, the better. Darkness! Witness testimony the night before. In a small town like this, you're bound to run into the same people over and over again. This all happened in a shopping district. It was maybe 11 PM the night before the crime. I happened upon Chica exiting one of the shops. Don't worry, I'm certain it was her. The orange shoulder-length hair, braid behind the ear, and huge cowlick on top of her head were unmistakable. Anyway, she had just purchased a duffel bag. I'm 1000% sure it was the same one she brought to Sea Paradise the next day. It had the same giant price tag on and everything. And don't try to imply that it was Cham-chan either. Why on earth would she be doing her shopping while in costume? Interesting. Wow, this is a seriously incriminating testimony. Right, I'd even say a damning testimony. Anyway, I don't see how you could possibly explain this away, but you're going to cross-examine me anyway, right? I've got to at least try. I'm not just going to give up on you. Fine by me. Go ahead and ask me whatever you want. I refuse to believe that this case is unwinnable for us. I've got to push all my wits to the limit for this cross-examination. Cross-examination. In a small town like this, you're bound to... Don't just cut me off. And this happens often. It does. I know you city people go your whole lives without ever remembering the strangers around you, but it's a different story here. At this point, I at least recognize most of the people I see out in the streets, even if I don't know their names. That's surreal, but it presents me with an opportunity. I guess I should be thankful. And this happens often. You know, I'm gonna actually stop doing it because I realize I will be able to see when Hanamaru does it. Like, not bad. But then again, I just gotta be doubly sure. I've gotta be doubly sure that Hanamaru doesn't smell bullshit. Like, did you try to get Chica's attention? Yes, but she didn't respond. I think she might have been wearing earbuds at the time or something. Okay, I see what causes the issue. Ah, okay. That's at least good that you know now, like, what causes it. So, like, whenever you get around to it, like... So if you pursue Hanamaru with no result and present something wrong right afterwards, then it breaks it. So pursue Hanamaru with no result and present something wrong right afterwards, it breaks it. Oh, wait, so I... Oh, wait, so I was in the middle of... I think I get it. Yeah. Yes, but oh, wait, she didn't respond. Wait. She's got her AirPods in. She couldn't respond. Yeah, she doesn't have the earbuds there, I don't think. Most people don't pursue Hanamaru unless they see her react, so nobody's ever reported that. Ah, yeah. Yes, but she didn't. Oh, yeah, sorry. Wearing it the whole time. You think? You're not sure if she was wearing earbuds? Well, I sort of mostly saw her from the back and side. Besides, she was far away and it was dark. Really? So you're telling me there's a slight chance that this is a case of mistaken identity? Nonsense! I'm absolutely sure it was Chica, and let me tell you why. Don't worry, I'm certain it was her. The orange shoulder-length hair. Oh yeah, braid behind the ear and all that. But how many braids did she have in her hair? Out of curiosity. Oh, wait, no, she has the braid there. Okay, you don't actually exactly see that. But in the profile, does it say that? No, it doesn't, and you can't full screen it either. If you go all the way to the end or press Yoshiko anywhere, it'll make it safe to present evidence again. Wait, if you go all the way to the end or press Yoshiko anywhere, it'll make it safe to present evidence again. So if I go all the way to the end... Oh, wait, I'll keep going on this and I'll see, like, if I could click on what you're saying, like, because I'm very slow. I'm absolutely certain. Orange shoulder-length hair, braid behind the ear, giant cowlick. Who else could it be? All the way end, as in when Ayamu starts yapping. Oh, yeah. Shut up! That definitely sounds like Meekenhead to me. I'd say this is a wrap. No, I refuse to admit defeat just yet. Anyway, oh yeah, so if I just go to the end. Unfortunately, I know that Yoshiko's probably right about it being Chica who brought the duffel bag. If you remember, when we talked to Chica yesterday, she said that she didn't tell Chameleon-San about the task until the day of the crime. There's literally no reason for her to be in costume the night before. But you know, for a fact that Chameleon-San took Chica's place, right? That means that she must have been the one who brought the duffel bag into Sea Paradise. I know that, but how in the world am I going to prove that against this insurmountable wall of evidence? For now, I should try and focus on explaining how Chameleon-San could have been involved in the events of Yoshiko's testimony. Maybe I can find a break in here somewhere. After all the statements and cross-examination, yeah. Sorry, my arm is getting really warm. Or not just my arm, it's just that, imagine my arm just heats up, it's like, ah! To be fair, I have, whatchamacallit, right now. I may have to turn on the fan. I am happy that, like, the mornings are getting sunny again, and the days are getting a little warmer. Right. So small town like this. Anyway, she had purchased a duffel bag. It was definitely her. Let's see. Wait, could it just be a coincidence, right? We can't know for sure that Chica's duffel bag is the same one that was found at Sea Paradise. I mean, don't forget, we found the same looking duffel bag in her house. It looked really new, too. Back me up here, Zurumaru. Didn't the bag look like it just came from out of a shop? It sure did, Zura. I reckon I'd even say that the person who went into Sea Paradise looked like she had a brand new bag as well. Right, not to mention the fact that the bag at Touchiman and the bag at the crime scene contained the exact same items. They're almost certainly the same one. I hate to admit it, but it's watertight. And don't try to imply that it was Cham Cham either. What if she was just practicing? Practicing? What are you talking about? If she wanted to test out her disguise, that's one thing. Why the hell would she go shopping with the costume on? It doesn't make any sense. It had to have been the real Chica that was sighted on that night. The thing is, based on what Chica told me yesterday, there is that one issue that Maki brought up earlier. So when we talked to Chica, she said that she didn't tell Camille about the day of the crime in costume the night before. Took Chica's place, right? That must mean she must have been the one who bought the brought the duffel bag into Sea Paradise. But how do we prove that? Same people shopping. Oh, wait, sorry. Crime happened. I thought it was her. Orange shoulder-length hair, braid. Ah, I see something. I see something. I don't know if it's any difference, but I see something. Hold on, wait, I have two things I want to present here. And then I want to... Yeah, present the photo as well. No, okay. Because I noticed the hairstyle's a little different. I'm looking too into it, like... Right. The orange shoulder, braid behind the ear, and huge cut. The other thing I was thinking of as well... that was picture, the same one she brought to Sea Paradise next day. It had the same giant price tag everywhere. So that's the only other thing I could say that. But she would have been going in to get it. They're just wrong. Don't try and imply that it was Cham-chan either. Why on earth would she be doing her shopping while in costume? Why would she be doing her thing in costume is a great question. Okay, to be fair, that could have been another thing. It's just like, she could have been in costume because she didn't want to be seen for a while. Because of the stream. Okay, it's stupid. I'm gonna die here, but I'm gonna just... No, okay. Just double checking. Right, we'll let it run out. And now go back to Ayamu and cry to her that I got it wrong. Right, retry. Let's go straight to Ayamu. And cry just like Yohane just did. Unfortunately, I know that Yoshiko's probably right about it being Chika who bought the duffel bag. If you remember, when we talked to Chika yesterday, she said that she didn't tell Chameleon-San about the task until the day of the crime. There's literally no reason for her to be in the costume the night before. We know for a fact that Chameleon-San took Chika's place, right? That means she must have been the one who brought the duffel bag into Sea Paradise. I know that, but how in the world am I going to prove that against this insurmountable wall of evidence? For now, I should try and explaining how Chameleon-San could have been involved in the events of Yoshiko's testimony. Maybe I can find a break in here somewhere. She would have been told and thing as well. I'm certain it was her, and I'm just gonna make sure I did actually talk. Are you sure you saw those features? I'm absolutely certain. Orange shoulder-length hair, braid behind the ear, giant cowlick. Who else could it be? Shut up! That definitely sounds like the Mikan head to me. I'd say this is a wrap. No, I refuse to admit defeat just yet. Wait, it could just be a coincidence, right? We can't know for sure that Chika's duffel bag is the same one that was found at Sea Paradise. I mean, don't forget, we found the same looking duffel bag in her house. It looked really new too. Back me up here, Zurumaru. Yeah, so she said that already. And then I did do the last one as well. What if she's just practicing? Hold on, let me walk away for a minute. Let me... Sorry. Let me let my brain cells run for a little bit. Hold on. Sorry. You guys. Right. I'm sorry, I'm just like eating at the same time. Ah. Huh. Still love that. Just a doodle. Oh! Wait! Wait! I got it! Wait. Bound to run the same people that happened thing. 11 p.m. It wasn't Chica. She's afraid to go out at that hour. Let's go! Yoshiko, I highly doubt that the person you saw was actually Chica. But how could that be? She looked just like Chica. I'm aware, but take a look at this. It's a drawing made by Chica depicting herself and Kusake Onna. Ah, Kusake Onna is a well-known evil spirit. Did you know that... Oh, excuse me. That an urban legend says that she was sighted right here in Numazu a few years back. Well, color me surprised. I didn't know Chica was into supernatural creatures. Perhaps I should recruit her as my next little demon. I wouldn't say she's into Kushisake Onna. More like she currently has a fear of her. Apparently one of Chica's sisters told her about Kushisake Onna in order to scare her into following a curfew. Chica currently has an aversion to going out too late. Huh? But I saw Chica leaving the store alone. How did she have the guts to go out at night then? She absolutely wouldn't. There's no way Chica was the person that you saw that night. It'd be funny if we just seen Chameleon in the audience as well, just shaking her head, just be like, these fuckers. Is that true? Chica's scared of the dark now? And that seems to be the case. Chica's sister had told her that this Kushisake Onna comes out at night, so she's been trying to stay indoors whenever night falls. Kushisake. Apparently this all started a few weeks ago, and Chica's been avoiding going out at night ever since. At the very least, she definitely wouldn't go out alone. But that doesn't make any sense. I know that I saw that orange shoulder-length hair and cowlick and that braid. Cham-chan had no reason to be in the Chica disguise on that night, and there's nobody else in town that looked anything like that. Who else could it have been? And that's the question. I understand that Chica may have some fear of the night right now, but it's likely that she simply overcame that fear. And for what? To go to the store in the dead of night to purchase a duffel bag for no reason? That doesn't make sense either. I mean, let's really think about this. If Chica had brought the duffel bag to the scene of the crime, what would she have used it for? It's not like she would have needed to do any sewing at the scene. On the other hand, it'd make a lot more sense for Chameleon-San to bring such a little bag alone as a traveling artist or attires. Jesus Christ, Joe. That would explain everything much better. And because of that, I suggest that Yoshiko here actually saw Chameleon-San exiting the store with the duffel bag that night. It's the only possibility. Don't be ridiculous! We've already established that there's no reason to her to have been in the costume at the time she was spotted by the witness. How do you explain the fact that she looked exactly like Chica? Ugh, can't deny it. I don't know why Chameleon-San would have been in costume either. Yoshiko claims she saw the person's hair, which is indicative of having been Chica's. There's got to be an explanation for all this though. I might have to shoot for the stars with this one. The defense has a theory on why Yoshiko seemingly saw Chica on the night before the crime, and it's... just... yeah, Chameleon-San has a braid and cowlick. Okay, let me just open up the image real quick. No, she doesn't have a braid. That's fair. But then again, she does wear different costumes and stuff. But the pictures are different though. Like if I go here, she has like her hair inside. Again, I don't actually know. It's a bad time to say. I don't know what a cowlick is. And then here, her hair is divided in the middle. Not that I think it makes too much of a difference, but it could be. And plus we have all 4 options, so we can choose them all anyway. But I want to see if I can get it right. So Chica gave Chameleon-San another task. But I don't think she would give her another task if she was only informed about it on the day of the crime, like... Oh, the Ahoige, yeah. As I pronounce it. Okay, yeah, she has that, and then... Yeah, no, she definitely has that, okay. Your Honor, her one goes right, and her one goes left. Clearly, they're 2 different people. It's not like there's this thing as winds. See, Yoshiko wouldn't have a reason to lie. Maybe she would, actually, because of the stream. Chica gave Chameleon-San another task. The duffel bag was a different bag. It was a different bag, maybe, because... Yeah, when Yoshiko found the duffel bag, she said that there was a price tag and stuff on it. If that was in the police... See, if the police were recording that, they would have mentioned... Yeah, see, a duffel bag was found near the scene of crime. Because of how big that label was, it would have been stupid to not mention that, right? Fuck, no, it's wrong. I'm shooting too high. I think there's a possibility that duffel bag that Yoshiko saw that night wasn't the same one as the one found at the scene of the crime. It's possible that Yoshiko saw Chica that night, but the person who entered Sea Paradise on the day of the crime was actually Chameleon-San carrying the identical bag. Most people choose to remove the price tags from their purchases as soon as possible, you know. Are you trying to say that both Chica and Chameleon-San just happened to both have identical duffel bags and both chose to leave their price tags on them? Not to mention, the bag brought to Sea Paradise and the bag found at the inn had identical contents. Are you saying that both Chica and Chameleon-San also chose to fill it with the exact same items? Even if the bag found in Tochiman Inn, or Tochiman Inn... Why do I keep saying inn? Tochiman was the same as the one found at Sea Paradise. If the witness had stated that the bag at Tochiman appeared to be brand new, remember that? Under your narrative, Chameleon-San's bag also would have been recently purchased. So you're telling us to accept that both of them bought identical bags at the same time? And both left the tags on them? I don't see how this explains anything. It looks like Yoshio saw Chica that night after all. Wait, I can explain all this. Just let me think this over. See, that is possible. So I think I have a potential explanation for why Chameleon-San would have been in costume the night before the crime. I think it's possible that Chica had another assignment for Chameleon-San the night before. That's why she was in costume. If that's what you claim, then provide the evidence to back up your assertion. Well, I don't have any. What's with you? I don't get it. How do you aim to substantiate your point? Are you going to call those two back as witnesses? Rats, I know for a fact that Chica didn't ask Chameleon-San to do anything until the morning of the crime. Even her testimony wouldn't help. I don't see how this explains anything. It has to be Yoshiko lying then, right? I hate to say it, but I don't think Yoshiko is telling the truth. Yoshiko, it's clear to me that the only way all these factors could line up is if you actually did see Chameleon-San and are lying about it having been Chica. But then again, she wouldn't have known either. Hey, how dare you call me a liar? It wasn't Cham-chan. I'm sure of it. You previously said that nobody knows what Cham-chan looks like. Or I even said that automatically. Chameleon-San looks like. If that's true, then you're implying that the witness had been reacting to a random person walking out of a store with a duffel bag. Well, consider the possibility that Yoshiko's lying about the entire thing. Sorry to butt in, but y'all shouldn't be throwing out accusations that got no evidence for, Zura. I have evidence, it's okay, well, we know it's the last one now anyway. So she has a braid and a cowlick, does she? Hear me out on this one, alright? Oh? What are you going to go on about now? Here's the thing. So we talked about Chameleon-San possible having hair, right? Or orange hair. It's not just hair. Well, while we're on the topic, isn't it possible that she could also have a braid, a cowlick, and shoulder-length hair? Are you for real? Look, I know it's a stretch, but just think about it. Chica's a very popular school idol. It's possible that people might just want to replace her appearance for themselves, you know? Or replicate, sorry. That's why, I think Chameleon just wants to look like Chica in her normal form, because she's a fan. Time out, I need to have a private discussion with the defense. Don't put this on record! Okay, the following discussion will be omitted from the court record, everyone. Alright, pardon me, let me go over to you so the rest of the court doesn't have to hear this. No problem, let me just move over. Alright, listen up you. That's your name, right? Yeah, why do you have to stop the record for this? Well, it's about what the fake Chica said on the stand yesterday. You believe that to have been Chameleon-San, correct? Yeah, we believe that Chameleon-San showed up on the stand yesterday to keep the illusion that Chica had fulfilled her duty in covering Yo. For Yo. At least that was the plan back then. Everything's changed now. Listen, I want to catch this fake Chica as badly as you do, alright? But there's a contradiction with what she said back then, and what you're claiming now. Right now, you're implying that Chameleon-San might look like Chica because she's trying to imitate her as a fan. But based on yesterday's testimonies, it sounded like the fake Chica didn't know a single thing about Aqua at all. Ah, you're saying that Chameleon-San could not have been a fan. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That would mean that the only way Chameleon-San and Chica could naturally look so much alike is through sheer coincidence. Anyway, since this point is off the record, the trial will still continue in consideration of this possibility. But think about where you're going with this. Golly, Maki brings up an awfully good point, doesn't she? She does. Having orange hair by coincidence is one thing, but multiple aspects of the same hair shape as well? That's incredibly unlikely. Well, what now? Are you going to keep pursuing this line of thought? If you're not careful, we could run into a dead end. Could it be? Wait. Not only will Yo be found guilty, but Chameleon-San will get away. The truth might be lost forever. I think I have to. This whole case. The impossible has been rearing its head and turning into the possible. We've got no better course to pursue than this. This unlikely path might lead us to the truth when we least expect it to. Besides, there's something about this perspective that seems familiar to me. Someone who looks like Chica by coincidence? Well, what now, defense? Are you asserting that Chameleon-San has the same hair features as Chica? I am. Like I said, Chica's a very popular school idol. It's possible that Chameleon-San simply wants to imitate her. That makes sense. Mary's Funhouse acknowledges this possibility. I'm sorry, you, but your theory is wrong. I didn't want to have to bring this up, but the trial needs it right now. As it turns out, I know exactly what Cham-chan looks like. What? she's gonna beat her up. Like, you knew all along? Why didn't you say so earlier? Well, Cham-chan's identity is a closely guarded secret. I didn't want to have to bring it up if I didn't have to. Besides, ain't Chameleon-San mad at you right about now? I don't reckon it'll be good for you to go out to tell her true identity to this whole dang court, Zura. I know that. That's why I'm only going to let the judge, defense, and prosecution see it, alright? I suppose that you're implying that you have a photo to show us, do you? I do, but I'm not showing it to the gallery. Then I think it'd be better if I just testified about it. Yoshiko, show us what Chameleon-San looks like. Very well. Praise be unto me, Yohane, for providing this pivotal evidence in your time of need. That's a Nishijasuke uniform as well. I could tell by the necktie as well, or whatever it's called. Behold, the true face of the one called Chameleon-San. If you are wondering how I obtained this photo, it was inside a book that she had passed on to me. The book contained a section to place one's own photo. So I do conclude that this is an image of her true self. Take note, as you can see, her hair is clearly not orange and is also the wrong length, with no cowlick. It also doesn't seem like she's keen on putting her hair in a braid. No way! Yes, Wei, this photo proves your theory wrong. Sorry to say. No, Yoshiko, that's not why I'm reacting like this at all. I mean, you see it too, right? Tell me I'm not the only one. I do, but why is she showing up in this trial of all things? I don't understand. That does it. This photo absolutely does not depict Chameleon-San. Now I just have to prove it. This is it, you. It's time to put this whole debacle to rest. Witness, make a formal testimony about this photo. I want to hear the whole story. Alright, let's finish this. The true face of Cham-chan. Cham-chan and I had a collaboration last week. She had shown up to my apartment and handed me a book as a gift. Let's just say the book was an activity book. There was a section for someone to place a photo of themselves. And that's where I got this photo from, because of that. I know this is a photo of her. If you'll notice, her hair looks absolutely nothing like Chica's. No orange, no cowlick. And that's why the person I saw with the duffel bag the night before the crime was Chica. It couldn't have been Cham. How the fuck am I meant to prove that this is, like, Shirako's sister? Like, thanks, Yoshiko. And don't worry, the contents of this photo will not be disclosed to the public. Good. I don't need Cham-chan to find out that I've been showing people what she really looks like. You know she's in the courtroom watching this trial at this very second, right? Anyway, I know you're going to start asking me questions. Bring it. I know for a fact that the person in the photo is not Chameleon-San, but how can I prove that if nobody knows what she really looks like? Cross-examination! See, I didn't say the witness testimony thing, so it threw me off, like. She'll show me this, let's say, activity book section for photo, and that's where I got the photo from. Because of that, I know that this is a photo of her. You know, she looks nothing like Chica, and that's why, thing, so maybe... Bro is on fire! Let's go! Yoshiko, what you're saying could not be true. Huh? It can't be! Yes, it all has to do with the uniform that the person in the photo is wearing. Do you see it? Yeah, it's the uniform for whatever school it is that Cham-chan goes to. Shinome Academy. According to the ID card, that was... Oh, it's different school again. Was left at your house by Chameleon-San. She goes to Shinome Academy. Yeah, there you go. She's wearing the uniform for Shinome Academy. Wrong. That isn't the uniform. Oh yeah, see, okay. Fucking hell, jeez. Joe, pay attention. That isn't the uniform for Shinonome Academy at all. Huh? It's not? Right. Take a look at these school idol trading cards I have here, depicting 2 Shinonome Academy students. Yeah, see, they're wearing different uniforms. Please take note of their uniforms. We can see that they have a red vest and a plaid tie. The point is, their uniforms are primarily red. Now, contrast this with the uniform shown in the photo you just gave us. Notice that this person's uniform instead has a grey jacket and a solid coloured neck ribbon. The uniform looks completely different! It doesn't even share the same colours! There's only one explanation for this. The person in your photo is not Chameleon-San. Shut up! Members of Mari's Funhouse, it seems to be evident that the uniform worn by the person in this photo isn't the Shinonome Academy uniform. She doesn't go to Shinonome Academy at all. Actually, now that you mention it, I've seen this uniform somewhere before. You have? Where have you seen it before? Yeah, see, it seems to be a Nijishasaki High School uniform. Of course, our uniforms don't look like that, because they changed it 4 years ago. This means that this photo is at least 4 years old. Oh, that means this photo had nothing to do with the crime after all. But yeah, she was neutralized as well, so that's why maybe... because yeah, an incident 4 years ago, unless... No, but was she not the one that died? Anyway. It's clear that there's no evidence to suggest that Chameleon-San doesn't have orange hair, but we do have evidence that she does. While we have no direct proof that Chameleon-San was involved instead of Chica, there are several factors that make more sense when we really consider that Chameleon-San was the one who really replaced Yo. First off, the idea that Yuichi went through the invertebrate section is more likely than the idea that Yuichi went through the invertebrate section. We've talked about this at the beginning. The screener would have been set off by Chica, but a master of costumes such as Chameleon-San may have found a workaround. That all tracks, you've got a good point. Second, the duffel bag clearly belonged to either Chica or Chameleon-San, since one of them was spotted entering Sea Paradise holding it. Thing is, Chica has no reason to fill it with sewing supplies. But for Chameleon-San, it makes perfect sense. I guess you're not wrong there. Lastly, someone who's apparently Chica seemed to purchase that exact duffel bag in the middle of the night, but it's highly unlikely that she'd go out after dark as of late. As a result, this must have been Chameleon-San instead. It's the only logical answer. So what are y'all gonna do now, Zura? There's only one thing left to do. We get Chameleon-San herself up to testify about her role in the crime, and we're pretty sure that she was involved at this point. Guess what? She's right here in this gymnasium. We can get on it right away. So, who are we to Sapona, exactly? Just Sapona Chameleon-San. What's so hard about that? Yeah, see, the problem is, we can't do that. All witnesses need to be identified before they testify. And you said that Chameleon-San's identity is a closely guarded secret. But she's right here in the gallery, just ask her. Unfortunately, there's a problem with that too. Individuals have a right to not self-incriminate. Right now, you're attempting to get her on the stand in order to implicate her in the place of your defendant. That means she is not required to identify herself. Therefore, it's up to one of us to figure out her true identity, if we are to get her to get her testimony. Chameleon-San said she'd be willing to testify as long as she didn't have to reveal her true identity. But if she must identify herself to testify, then she wouldn't dare talk. Maki said that she wants to catch Chameleon-San as much as I do, so it's up to us to identify her, huh? Unfortunately, it seems like even Maki has no clue who she could be, and I don't think I'd fare much better. If we don't identify Chameleon-San, then we can't have her testify. Testifying under a pseudonym is only allowed under certain scenarios. Yup, it's referred to as a pseudonym order. It's only usable when the witness would be in danger of retaliation and if their true identity was exposed, or if the witness is a little kid, for example. Regardless of the reasons, none of them apply to the situation. That means the identity of the witness is required to obtain testimony from them. Least we risk the testimony getting thrown out again. Even if we can't figure out Chameleon-San's identity today, don't fret, the DNA test results will be back by tomorrow. No, Chameleon-San's leaving the area tonight. We don't have it tomorrow. Wait, we must figure out Chameleon-San's identity today. If we don't, well, if you have any idea who it is, you better spit it out now. Well, I don't. But there's gotta be a way we can figure it out today. We just need a bit more time. Sorry, But we can't just sit around running in circles. We'll reconvene tomorrow, hopefully with answers. No, you can't. Is this Ruby? Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounded like Ruby. Hello, Ruby. Your Honor, please wait. Hello, Ruby. What brings you to Mari's Funhouse today? You, Ayamu, Maki, you've got enough leads to figure out the identity of the culprit. You can figure this out today. I know you can. Today? Is that even possible? The trial's taken long enough. It'd be better for everyone to just go home for now and reconvene with answers tomorrow. Yeah, it'd be much easier to just wait for my DNA results to come back in. I'm tired of talking. 15 minutes, that's all it'll take. We can figure this out. But please, Maki, you want to find the truth too, don't you? Huh, I don't see how we can figure something out in just 50 minutes, but fine, go for it. Right, where's my phone? Oh yeah, there's my phone. Where's Google? Google, we'll set an actual timer for 15 minutes and see if I can figure out in that time. Let's see. Okay, hold on. So if I back up here, go with this here, Google, timer. I don't even know if Google have a timer, but I'll just timer. 15 minutes plus 5, there we go. Okay, right. There we go. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, let's not come back 50 minutes, but no more. I want to get lunch. 15 minutes? What can we figure out in just 15 minutes? Well, that's that. Mari's Funhouse, sponsored by Sea Paradise, will return after 50 minutes. Oh wait, it literally is leaving the courthouse as well. Shit. Okay, right. June 27th, 12:11, defendant lobby. And go! Ruby, I didn't expect you to show up here today. Sorry, Hanamaru, no time for talking. Ruby, I appreciate that you have enough faith in me to believe that I can figure out who the culprit is. But I honestly have no idea. Don't say that, you're Takasaki Yu. I know you can figure it out today. There are an endless number of people that could be. You've got to narrow this down, Yu. Come on, think. Isn't there anything that could qualify as lead to her true identity beyond what we've discussed so far? To be honest, when we talked about Chameleon-San's true identity in the trial, something clicked with me. Almost as if I've seen some of the physical features we talked about, but I'm not sure what. I think I need to narrow down my thoughts to focus on just one thing. Maybe that'll help. I think I remember seeing someone with Chameleon-San's traits somewhere. It has something to do with this. The cards? Bro, no way! The School Idol trading cards. For some reason, I feel a connection between them and the feature of Chameleon-San's true identity that we discussed in court today. Well, you did go through quite a few of them. Do you think that one of those School Idols was actually Chameleon-San? I think so. It feels faint, but... Good idea, you! You might just be on the right track. Luckily, I'm a collector of these cards. I've got the full set. You must figure out Chameleon-San's true identity. Will we actually just see all the cards? Okay, cool. Joe, countdown timer. Which one did we say looked like her? No, it could be... The cowlick is missing. That one. That's it. It's her. All this time, everything that had happened, it was all her. The true identity of Chameleon-San is Hasekura Kasane. Takia! Are you sure? I'm absolutely sure. Think about it. First off, just look at her. She looks almost exactly like Chika. But her idol group is actually older than Aqua is. She's always looked like this. Do you know what that means? It means she looks like Chika by coincidence, just like what we discussed with Maki. And her school, she's from Shinonome Academy. That red vest and tie are undeniable. But there's more to it than just that. Her hobby, do you see what it is? Bro, no way! She actually hid that much under the... Oh my god, how did I not pick that up? We did it, didn't we? After all our efforts, we've caught our chameleon. And the lights go out and Chameleon appears. Hey, we actually did... Bro, that was fast. That took less than 3 minutes for me to figure that out as well. That's crazy. The moment I saw the cards, it was just destined. Like Noseme would say, like. June 27, 1226, Mary's Funhouse. Oh, I say, yeah. Well, here we go. I've moved the gallery to another room. And don't worry, they'll still be able to watch the trial proceedings. That said, the camera facing the witness stand will be disabled, so Chameleon-San's identity can be kept secret. We're trying to make this as easy as possible. Understood. It's time to face our shape-shifting mimic, once and for all. Yes, it's time. After all this trouble we went through, it's finally time to get Chameleon-San onto the stand. Have the both of you talked to Chameleon-San and instructed her on what to do? We did. I prepared her for testimony, but she seemed pretty caught up with the case already. I've also asked her to confirm her identity. She'll confirm it again on the stand, just for good measure. Okay. When we do confirm her identity, let's make sure all available microphones are muted. The record should only merely show that the confirmation was made, while leaving out the specifics. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Keep belching under my breath, like. Right. Alright, Chameleon-San, please come out and take the stand. At long last, she's here. The one who met us at Yuhai Falls, the one who took the stand yesterday, and the one who posed as Riko at Sea Paradise. So this is Hasakura Kasane. So Kasane. Witness, are you the one they refer to as Chameleon-San? She's just like, no. No need to be so formal. You can refer to me as Cham-chan if you want to. Will do, but first, the most important question. What's your name? Right, microphone's off for this next part, but it should be on the record. Over the last day, there have been many developments that led to us to deduce your identity. Is it true that your real name is Hasakura Kasane? Yup, that's me alright. Good job. I used to be a school idol a while back, but after our group went our separate ways, I decided to try using my cosplay skills to create an independent identity on the internet. I figured a gimmick would help me create a unique identity, so I decided to take on a more mysterious persona. I guess I'm a cool attribute now instead of a smile attribute or whatever. Life is weird, isn't it? I would have never expected my cover would be blown by a bunch of school idols and school idol adjacent people. Guess I can never escape the school idol influence. Uh-huh. Well, nobody's ever been able to figure out anything about my personal life before. You guys are the first. And here I thought I was doing so well. Guess I left too much of a trail in my wake. I gotta be more careful about that. Oh, it's her alright. The voice from the second half of yesterday's trial has been permanently burned into my brain. Man, I should have gotten my daily coffee yesterday. Otherwise, I might have been a little more alert. Nonetheless, I guess I got myself into a situation here. But I agreed to testify, as long as I didn't have to expose my true identity. So, here I am. I highly appreciate that you took so many measures to keep my identity concealed. Thanks for that. Don't thank us. We're doing this so you can testify, not so you can feel all comfy about being in the hot seat. You've got to answer a lot to answer for. The defense claims that you were the true culprit behind the disappearance of the sculpture. So I've heard. But I assure you, I didn't have anything to do with that. In that case, I assume you wouldn't be opposed to testifying about how you got involved in the situation and your role in it. Sure thing. Sure thing. Witness testimony. The incident. I was contacted by Chica on the day of the crime, which was June 25th. It was early in the morning, probably at 10 or so. Chica had told me that I was to disguise myself as her. When I got to Sea Paradise, Yo told me to put the walrus costume on. I quickly found that the costume didn't fit, but fortunately I had prepared an inflatable costume ahead of time, so I left the other costume behind right there, and used the inflatable one instead. However, when I found that the head was somehow damaged, I panicked a bit, and that's why I left the observation deck shortly after I got there, forgetting my duffel bag in the process. You know the rest. After that I found Chica. Had to spend another day away, so she tasked me with watching the inn and maintaining the illusion until she got back. But how could that be? We discussed the inflatable costume theory and we decided that it was impossible. I'm aware. However, a key detail was left out of all the discussions. Is it the padding? Even though Chica didn't know the detail of Yo's job, she at least knew that the job was to take place at Sea Paradise, so she told me this bit of information when I was hired. Using that information, I found out there was a mascot named Uchichi. I had prepared the costume in the off chance that I would be needing to use it, since I also found out that the Uchichi was associated with Yo of Aqua. What about the trident and the sculpture? We said that it would have punctured the inflatable outfit if you tried holding it inside. You're 100% correct, and that's why you can be sure that I didn't take the sculpture. Oh, right. It feels like a bit of a stretch, doesn't it? She's prepared an inflatable Uchichi costume in the little time Chica gave her. Either she's extremely quick, did an extremely shoddy job, or she's lying. But for a moment, I'll have to treat her testimony as fact. Well, that's enough preamble. Time for the proper cross-examination, Cham-chan. Could the trident have... Nah, I couldn't have poked there, could it? Can it? Kasane claims that she didn't take the sculpture, and her lack of psychic locks when I questioned her seems to confirm that. But it had to have been her, right? Yo can't be the real culprit. If she didn't steal the sculpture, why was the Uchichi spotted with its arms around his chest? Could she somehow have tricked the Yufuda? By now, I'm sure she's contemplating this case inside and out, but could there be something she missed? Cross-examination. I was contacted by Chief. Do you always interrupt your people in the middle of their conversations? So you prepared the inflatable Uchichi costume in less than an hour? Yeah, it was a tough job. I guess you could say that's why I showed up late. It didn't need to look perfect though, it just needed to look good enough. It was good enough to fool Rico. I suppose her handiwork was passable. So you prepared the costume just in case you needed it, even though there was a very good chance you wouldn't even get to use it? Well, it wouldn't have been a complete waste. I figure I might be able to use an Uchichi cosplay down the line at some point. I don't know if I can believe that, but I don't have the proper evidence to disprove anything here, right? Let me read in a bit more. Yesterday, you said the same thing to us when you were disguised as Rico. So costume of Chica is another one of the cosplays you have lined up? That's right. I've got all of Muse and Aqua hanging in my closet. Taken the wrong way, that sounds horrifying. It's not like the costumes are that complex anyway. I just need somewhat appropriate clothing for the character, and coloured contacts and a wig. The Chica disguise is especially easy. I don't even need a wig for it. I just needed to colour contacts and a bit of spray dye to make my orange hair even oranger. So you're saying you didn't use a wig for the disguise? That's why the hair was real? So wait a minute, despite having a costume for all of Aqua, you couldn't answer several of the trivia questions about Aqua yesterday in the trial. You didn't do any research? No, I've got to jump on trends while they're hot. I don't have the time to get into any more idol groups. It doesn't matter anyway, because that part of the testimony from yesterday was thrown out. Let's cut the previous conversation out of the record, okay? Wonder if she'll make a costume for Nijiyaski members. Represents. I quickly found that the costume didn't fit, but fortunately I had prepared an inflatable costume ahead of time. So I left the other costume behind right there and used the inflatable one instead. Where exactly did you leave the steel framed costume? Well, I knew that the observation deck itself was off limits to patrons. I figured nobody would disturb it if I just left it there. I made sure to leave it in a place where you wouldn't really see it from the outside. That way nobody would see a headless walrus slumped against the wall. So you just abandoned it? You weren't afraid that someone might steal it? Well, it's not like some random person could just walk out carrying the Chi-Chi outfit, since the entrance is always guarded. There's also no way they could wear it out pretending to be a Yo either, since only people with her proportions could put it on, and it had no head. And like we discussed, Yuichi was never seen leaving the aquarium around the time of the crime. However, Jesus, you are rude. You panicked. Were you the one who damaged the head? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I could have repaired it then and there, but I figured I should report the damage first. The stitch would have been visible, you know, so I brought it back to the employee area. In hindsight, though, I don't recall ever bumping into anything at any point, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. But you're confirming that the duffel bag was yours, right? The one found at the scene of the crime? Yeah, I forgot. When the police showed up, I didn't want to disturb them, or disrupt them, so I went back for it when they moved it to the lost and found. Only for me to forget it again at Touching It In, that when I went to check in on it. Silly me. So that's why Yoshiko found it in the inn. You know the rest. So that's why you're waiting at Yuhai Falls? Yeah, I didn't have a chance to change out of my outfit, but I was supposed to meet Chika at Yuhai Falls after my task was done. Unfortunately, her time away ended up being extended, so she asked me to do a bit of housekeeping and to testify at the trial yesterday in her stead. However, because you and Ayamu showed up, I had to go to the inn without changing out my disguise. I was only able to take it off after I went in the inn. According to Yoshiko, Riko lives right next door and has keys to the inn. Why wouldn't Chika just ask her to look after the inn? I can answer that for you. One of Chameleon-San's tasks was to feed the dog, right? Well, Riko has cynophobia. There's no way she'd approach the inn's dog, no matter how friendly it is. But right, I should have known. She's definitely given this case a lot of thought. Even if she is lying, her investigations yesterday as Riko probably provided her enough information to know exactly what lies to make while staying seemingly innocuous. Oh, geez, sorry, yawning again. You're right. And she was watching the first half of our trial. No doubt that she had already figured out what to say ahead of time. Well, even if she did investigate extremely thoroughly yesterday, she was still trying to do it covertly. She couldn't talk to Yo, Kanan, or Bijan, lest she blow her cover. That means there's a very likely certain pieces of evidence that she never saw. If that's the case, then she might be missing something out of the big picture. And don't forget, contradictions are sometimes in what's missing from our evidence. Make sure you check everything carefully. It was early morning, probably around 10. Chika told me. Taken at Yo at 10:10. So did she swap out? Oh, yeah, wait, would have called her... Oh, wait, sorry, wait. No, yeah, June 25th, right? And then the crime happened on June 25th as well. Are you sure you want to present it, Joe? Look at other stuff first. You know, see Paradise from 11 to 12 to Center Fog. Oh, yeah, wait, so yeah, that's from... Now, don't present it, Joe, don't present it. Trans, Riko saw the creature at 2. ID card. When I got to see Paradise, Joe told me to put on the walrus costume. Costume didn't fit, but fortunately I had prepared an inflatable costume ahead of time, so I left the other costume behind right there and used the inflatable one instead. However, when I found that the head was somehow damaged, I panicked a bit. That's why I left the observation deck shortly after I got there, forgetting my duffel bag in the process. Huh. But if she was going to the employee area... Because she was heading to the employee area, right? Because that's why she wants to get things fixed. Watching the inn and maintaining the illusion until she got back. That's why I left the observation deck shortly after I got there, forgetting my duffel bag in the process. Just Spend another 2 days. No, because that's when the actual crime was committed. I quickly found that the costume didn't fit, but fortunately I had prepared an inflatable costume ahead of time. Okay, so I was contacted on Chico on the day of the crime, which was June 25th. It was early in the morning, probably at 10 or so. Just oofada, oofada, oofada! Actually, what did Aimu say again? Before I continue. She's definitely given the case a lot of thought. If she is lying, her investigation yesterday, as Rico probably provided enough information to know exactly what lies to make while seemingly innocuous. You're right, and she was watching the first half of her trial. No doubt that she already figured out what to say ahead of time. Well, even if she did investigate Extreme Authority yesterday, she was still trying to do it covertly. She couldn't talk to Yo, Kana, and Bijan, lest she'd blow her cover. That means there's a very likely certain piece of evidence that she never saw. If that's the case, then she might be missing something out of the big picture. And don't forget, contradictions are sometimes in what's missing from our evidence. Make sure you check everything carefully. I'm half convinced. If I can find like a time thing that lines up with that. Sculpture name went missing between 10 and was when it was delivered to its pedestal at the observation deck. Between 10, sorry. Yeah, because that would suggest then that she took the sculpture and then went back to her position. Chameleon, you're saying that you left the original costume at the observation deck, and that's the last you saw of it, right? Yeah, when I had returned, the lady with the lab coat told me to leave the scene. So I just waited for Yo to return to the aquarium. There's a problem with your story, though. The police report filed by Bijan has a section detailing the evidence that they found at the crime scene. So yeah, the costume wasn't left there, it was left in the observation deck. However, the only thing that was listed in this section is the duffel bag. If you really did leave the costume at the scene of the crime, the police would have certainly written it down in the report. Yeah, there's no clapping or no like talking because there's nobody in the court. Oh, that's gas. It's awfully quiet without the gallery in here, huh? Chameleon-San, you're claiming that you left the costume at the scene of the crime, but if that's the case, the police would have found it alongside the duffel bag. So why isn't it anywhere in this police report? The only explanation is that there wasn't a costume to be found. If that's true, the only time you had the opportunity to remove the costume was the first time you left the observation deck, when you noticed the damaged area on the Uchichi head. Since Rico's sketch doesn't depict you carrying a costume in your arms, the only explanation is that there was only one costume used. In this case, there was never an inflatable costume. Nonsense. It's possible that the police just chose not to include the Uchichi body in the crime report, that's all. The outfit is the aquarium property, so perhaps it was simply not considered to be out of place or related to the crime. Even if that were the case, Bijan never mentioned anything of the sort either. Surely someone would have mentioned this. Someone had to have moved the costume back into the employee area too. After all, Yo put it on to show it to us, but never said anything about it being in the wrong place. This discrepancy must be an explanation. What really happened, Chameleon-San? If I could just butt in here. Oh my god, this is both of them side by side now. I'm sorry, I know I wasn't called up, but... Chameleon-San? I didn't hire you to cause a bunch of trouble, then give fake news on the stand. Fake news? Uh-oh, this could get ugly. I spent a ton of my allowance on you, and you went and caused all this trouble? That's not very nice, you know. Look, in my own defense, I was given a borderline impossible task. If I were given more clear instructions with more time, I could have made it work with no issue. Are you saying it's my fault that things turned out this way? You're so mean. No, I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying that you were all a victim of circumstance. But Chameleon-San, you said that you wouldn't run away anymore, right? You said you wanted to testify, didn't you? Yeah, you're right. I need to be more open, sorry. I just figured that the costume bit wouldn't change anything. What you don't know wouldn't hurt you, etc. You can't just do that. Just because it won't change, she has that thing again. Anything, that doesn't mean you should lie about it. And yet you had the same mentality when you hired me to trick your buddy that you were supposed to cover for, didn't you? There's that red C-shaped thing again. Seriously, what is that she's tapping her head with? Looks like a red pepper to me. Enough fighting, girls. Cham-chan, we would like you to testify again about what you really did, but no lying this time. And Chica, since you're up here, you might as well act as fact-checking. Don't hesitate to correct her if she says anything, something wrong. Yeah, sure. Here's my revised testimony. Witness testimony. Wasn't it, like... I think unironically, I think it was Zeno that also mentioned, like, at the very beginning of... I don't know if it was this episode. I think it was this episode. He was saying that Chameleon-San, when she was faking Chica, looked like Ayamu. Which also is kind of a weird kind of like, whoa, wait. Like, unironically, like, Zeno, like, knew there was something up already before, like, knowing that she was a fake, like... Let me explain how the metal frame of the costume works. Normally, after getting into the costume, you're supposed to close the shoulder parts to secure everything in place. The shoulder parts are the main issue. I was too tall to close them properly, but it's possible to leave them open. It just makes the costume a bit tougher to wear. As for the problem with the security screener, I had headed through the vertebrae section. That's why there was no screener going off. The steel frame is supposed to make the costume easier to stand around, but without closing the shoulders, it instead made the costume stupidly heavy. So, as I got to the end of the vertebrae section, I began power walking to get to the employee area faster. Maybe that's why Rico lost track of me. Something in there says I can present another thing. Oh, so you did use the costume but found a way to wear it despite not it fitting? Yeah, however, the solution wasn't without its faults, as the steel became a detriment rather than a benefit. I suppose the idea was the Uchichi was mostly supposed to stand around in one place for the majority of the day. In that case, the steel frame would rest firmly in place and take a lot of weight off your body. Witness, before you would do anything else, let me confirm something with you. When you say shoulder parts, you mean these clasp-like things sticking up out of the costume, right? Yup, those were the parts I had to leave open. Although, obviously, nobody would have been able to tell you that from an outsider's perspective. I was just tall enough that they couldn't close comfortably. And it's not like I could have lowered my stance inside the costume, since the frame keeps my body totally straightened out. Because of that, the costume's weight didn't rest on my shoulders like they were supposed to. Rather, the weight ended up transferring to the legs. It was quite hard to move. So that explains the clumsily walking Uchichi was doing, right? In any case, the sequence of events makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? There's no more plot holes to be found. Of course, it seems that the witness is maintaining her innocence, which means the defense is probably going to try to poke holes in the testimony, doesn't it? Fine by me. I don't think you'll find any indication that I had anything to do with the sculpture's disappearance. I'm telling you, it was gone when I got there. That's it, I can't take this anymore. That red thing in Chica's hand is bugging me more than I can handle. I need answers now. This might be out of nowhere, but I just have to ask. Chica, what exactly is that red thing? Red thing? You mean my braid tie? It's one of my favorites. It looks like a pair of cherries, doesn't it? It goes well with my hair color. No, not that. The pepper looking thing. You had it just a second ago. My eyes? What peppers have you to do with your eyes? I mean, that thingamajig you were tapping with your head with. Whatever that was. Oh, come on. Can you check your pockets for me real quickly? Instead of asking about trivial and related matters, why don't you get on with the cross-examination so we can all go home, huh? You're currently cross-examining Chameleon-San, not Chica. If you can't do that, then rest your case. Yeah, let's get on with it. I want to see what you come up with and to get out of this pinch. The red thing that Chica has, or had, I want to know what it is, but she's acting like it doesn't exist. If I had to guess, I'd say she's been pulling it out unconsciously. She might not realize that she's been holding it. possibly, but it's in her possession for a reason. Certainly she at least knows how she came to obtain it. Well, I'll get on with the cross-examination for now. I don't see how that red thing could be relevant to her case anyway. Though, if I notice her pulling it out again, I might not be able to help my curiosity. Yeah, I was just looking up there as well, just see. So, like, can I get my duffel bag back after this? It's still in your house right now. Cross-examination. Let me explain how the metal frame of the costume works. Normally... Thank you again for letting me talk. If I'm not mistaken, people usually need a second person to help them get into the mascot costume like that. Did you need anyone to help you? No, when I got to the scene, Yo had described how to put it on. It was possible to get in the suit without assistance. The metal frame does wonders to keeping the body steady as you get in it. The back seals up very easily using magnets, and the shoulder clasps are simply to close up. Although the frame fits very snugly around one's body, you can pull your arms out of the costume's arms to release the clasp, undo the back, So it's not too hard to get out of either. In that case, there's probably nobody that can testify about how Kasane put the costume on, since she could do it herself. The shoulder parts... I will fucking kill you if you keep cutting me off. Tougher to wear? You said that this was because the costume's weight no longer rests on your shoulders, right? Correct. It wouldn't have been a problem if I didn't need to move much, but after I saw the tear on the head, I panicked and decided to return to the employee area. In hindsight, I probably should have just left the costume body behind, but I didn't want to break character at the time, since my task was to be Uchichi. Looks like Yo wasn't very clear that she primarily just needed to guard the sculpture, but she was in a rush to get to the harbour. If they'd just ditched the costume for this task, none of this would have happened, but it's too late now. As for the problem, meet me out the back alley at 5 PM, and I'll show you what happens to the people that cut me off. If that's the case, then Kanan was right about Riko's sketch being a banded snake eel. I've no clue what you mean by that. But if it confirms that I went through the vertebrae section, then yes. It's the only possibility, right? My costume had the metal frame in it. How else could I have gotten to the employee area without setting off the screeners? And before you ask, no, I didn't turn any corners. There was no corner to turn if I exited from the vertebrae section. We're back to the original narrative of events, but is it actually true? The steel frame... you said that... you said that the shoulder clasp would cause the costume to rest on your shoulders. Wouldn't the costume feel heavier if the clasp were closed rather than open like how you had it? Without the clasp resting on your shoulders, all the weight of the costume sinks right down to your legs rather than being distributed all over your body. Since you need to move your legs to walk, it made it really difficult to go anywhere. And that said, even if the costume was being worn properly, I feel the legs were still overly heavy. I have no clue how Yo does it. Well, Yo does a lot of weight training, you know? She's definitely stronger than most of us besides maybe Kanan. Push again. Stop right there, Chica. Let me see your hands right this time. My hands? Oh, hey, it's the thingamajig. I didn't even realize I've been pulling it out. Thingamajig? What exactly is it? I remember what I said you. My sisters and I went to a beach or something to look for weird stuff. Of course they wouldn't tell me exactly what we were searching for. So while I was searching on the beach yesterday, I found this, a weird piece of wood. Check it out, it's red. It's not, is it? Yeah, it can't be. Or unless it's a piece of it. Could you imagine? The actual sculpture wasn't even stolen, it was just missing. That's it, like, it just literally fell off and broke. Oh, shiny wooden head! It's a piece of red colored wood. Yup, I've heard of redwood, but I've never seen wood that was this red before. Maybe it's a twig from an undiscovered species. Anyway, I've been keeping it in my pocket because of how funny it looks. Isn't it so weird? I tried showing it to my sisters, but they let me keep it because they told me that it had nothing to do with their search. It has nothing to do with this case. Either we've got more important things to do than mess with a literal tree branch. Is that really true, or is there something more? Like, it must be, right? I'll probably have to substantiate it with evidence, but is there any connection between this wood and our case? Yes. Actually, I think I can show you how this wood is connected to our case. Huh, I won't go around making such fantastical claims without proof. Don't worry, as it turns out, I've got proof. You look confident. What's the connection between this piece of wood and our case defense? Please tell me. Let's go! Let's go! Thanks for telling us about the piece of wood, Chica. For you see, it actually changes everything. Everything? What are you talking about? Well, let's take a look at this wood. It's clearly not a normal branch. The grains of the wood are horizontal instead of ring-shaped. Not only that, but the red seems to be paint. Almost as if it came from some sort of sculpture. Sculpture? Let's take a look at the photo of Teki Reborn for a second. So it's one of the hair pieces up here. If you'll notice, she has a mermaid tail. Oh, yeah, mermaid tail, sorry. It's painted red. The way her tail is sitting, it's clearly a 180-degree bend in it. Now compare this with the wood that Chica found. Red paint, 180-degree bend. It even has a flattened side, as if it was designed to rest on a surface. It simply can't be a coincidence. This red-colored twig actually came from the missing sculpture. That's impossible! But how could that be? The sculpture vanished from Numazu, but I found it all the way in Cape Ose. Chica, how far is Cape Ose from Numazu exactly? About 20 to 30 minutes. We could have come home yesterday, but we decided to stay there overnight because my sister's friends had a hotel room, so we had a sleepover. If that's the case, then I think it's possible that the ocean's currents carried the piece of sculpture from Sea Paradise to the beach at Cape Ose. But that would mean that the sculpture was never stolen. It had to have actually dropped into the ocean. That it does, and I'm confident that's what really happened. This entire time, the sculpture had actually fallen into the ocean. In the ocean? But how could that be? If we think about it, the sculpture vanished on the morning of the 25th, right? But it looks like Chica found the sculpture fragment on the 26th at Cape Ose. The sculpture has to have broken apart at some point, and the pieces had an entire day to drift all the way over to Cape Ose. That must be what happened. Piece of wood found at Cape Ose by Chica appears to be part of the tale from Teki Reborn. Ah, the sculpture fell into the ocean and was destroyed? A shiny int! Still, this trial aims to find if Yo is responsible for the disappearance of the sculpture. Was she the one who let it fall into the ocean? The sculpture was located on the observation deck on a pedestal that is higher than the banister that surrounds it. The point is, the elevation of the sculpture was higher than the surrounding fence. Assuming that the red coloured wood really did come from the sculpture, it's not too outlandish of a prospect for a sculpture to have been knocked off. After all, it hadn't been glued down that day. Of course, there's absolutely no reason someone would deliberately toss the sculpture over. I imagine that it must have been accidental. Chameleon-San, do you still maintain your innocence in the light of this revelation? Of course I do. Knocking the sculpture off the pedestal? I never did anything of the sort. Even if a wooden sculpture is fairly lightweight. Surely I would have noticed. Chameleon-San, you're claiming to have no recollection of having anything to do with the sculpture falling into the ocean? Correct. I maintained that the sculpture was missing before I got there. What? So you're saying that Yo did it? You're lying! Listen, okay? I'm absolutely 100% not lying here. I had nothing to do with the disappearance of Hatsune Miku. Sorry, disappearance of the sculpture. That's my final answer. Kasune's still saying that she doesn't know anything about how the sculpture went missing. But she has to be lying, right? I think she might be telling the truth to some extent. She's insisting that she has no idea what happened, but we also believe that Kasane must have been the one who caused the sculpture to fall. The only way this could be possible is if she didn't realize that she knocked the sculpture off. She did it without realizing it? It's the fucking Uchichi head. That has to be the case. After all, there were no psychic locks when I asked Kasane if she was involved in the crime. It's the only way she could have been telling the truth back then about being innocent. yet also be ultimately guilty at the same time. So that's how it is. The Ofada is a lie detector, not a truth detector. Oh, think you! Think! Everything's changed since the case began. If the sculpture was never stolen, what really went on? We know that the sculpture was most likely never stolen, rather it seems to have been knocked into the ocean at one point. After all, that piece of the sculpture was found kilometers away from Sea Paradise. That's the most likely narrative. But at the same time, Kasane claims that she never knocked the sculpture off the pedestal. Could it be that she did it by accident and didn't notice? It's possible, right? A costume like that is rather clumsy, even if you were able to wear it properly. But how do we prove that? I've got to start by thinking about what's changed since this case began. Perhaps there's a clue in there somewhere. Let's see. If we consider that the sculpture wasn't stolen but rather knocked into the ocean, what evidence could we re-evaluate? Rico's sketch? Yeah, there we go. Rico's sketch no longer makes sense. Wait a minute, when we talked about Rico's sketch of Yuchichi, we had said that he was holding his arms to his chest because he was hiding the sculpture inside. Kasane claims that she never took the sculpture, and this whole time, I was trying to prove that she did. I've been hoping that I could somehow find an explanation for the apparent contradiction, but as it turns out, there really was no sculpture in the costume. It fell into the sea, and it has, like, it's not like someone would steal the sculpture just to throw it in the ocean later. In that case, there must be another reason why Yuchichi's been holding his arms in front of himself, but what? I don't imagine Kasane just wants to keep Yuchichi's arms out of the way. Rico had described Yuchichi's movements as clumsy. If that's the case, wouldn't Kasane want to keep her arms extended in case she ran into something to prevent a crash? I think that'd make more sense. No, it must have been very important to keep her arms tucked in like that. Kasane must have been holding her arms in front of her for a reason. What is that? Either hold up the costume or thing. I don't think it was to cover the name tag, because the name tag would have been fine. Yeah, there we go. Kasane was holding the costume up. There was most likely nothing that Kasane to hold except for the costume itself. Let's really think about it for a second. If she really hadn't stolen the sculpture, then the only thing between her arms and her body would have been the costume, right? Her name tag didn't matter either. It's not like she was using the Pochichi outfit with a different label. It's the only explanation. Kasane must have been trying to hold up the costume itself. But why? It could be a number of reasons. I'll have to figure out which explanation makes the most sense. If we were to assume that Kasane was holding up the costume itself, why did she need to do that? To prevent it from opening up? To reduce its weight? Well, no, she wouldn't need to conceal herself. All the weight was in the legs anyway, so yeah, to stop her from slipping. The costume was falling off. The only explanation is that the costume itself was starting to fall down. It's like if your pants start falling, right? You'd scramble to hold it up. But because of how round Yuchichi is, and because of the lack of fingers, it must have been difficult for Kasane to get her hands underneath the body to get a grip. That means the only way Kasane could put enough pressure on the costume to keep it from falling is by pushing inward rather than upward. But the metal frame should have kept the costume structurally sound. There's no way the costume would just start falling down. There's more to just that. And this might be the break we've been looking for. Let's answer this once and for all. The truth behind this matter. If the Yuchichi costume is normally held up by a steel frame, how could the costume have started collapsing? The frame detached from the costume? No, okay, never mind. Yo said that she added the frame to the costume herself. While I don't doubt her skill, I feel like it won't be completely flawless. Perhaps Kasane struggled to put on the costume, and it, in the process, somehow caused the frame to detach from the costume? With the frame detached, the costume would lose integrity. After all, Yo mentioned that the costume no longer had its thick lining. Well, that doesn't make sense. When Yo showed us the costume, the frame seemed to be attached to the costume perfectly fine. I guess Kasane could have repaired it, but if she unintentionally broke the frame off from the costume, would she even know how to? There's got to be another explanation. What could it be? The frame was broken? Well, it wasn't broken. It had to have been removed, right? As you said there, like. Kasane cut the frame out of the costume. Because, yeah, she had the means to do so as well. There's only one explanation. Kasane removed the frame from the costume. I know Yo showed us the costume with the frame still attached, but Kasane is a talented costume artist. If she was the one who deliberately extracted the frame from the costume, then she must have also known how to sew it back in. After all, she had all the tools in her duffel bag. As soon as the police moved it to the Lost and Found, she most likely used the tools to repair the costume before Yo returned. So that's why she was so reluctant to admit that she used the steel frame costume. She'd have to confess that she tampered with the aquarium property. It all makes sense. Kasane took the frame out. If that's true, then it changes everything. Chameleon-San, I have a question for you. What is it? Well, it's about the metal frame inside the costume. You're saying that you're able to fit in the costume despite it because you left it partially undone, right? Not sure why you're bringing this up again, but yeah. Like a jacket that's been a bit undersized, you can put it on if you leave it unzipped. Are you sure about that? Did you really leave the frame undone? Or could it be that you left the frame out of the costume completely? Left the frame out? What do you mean? Well, you seem to claim that you have no recollection of being involved in the crime. That may be the case, but let me ask you this. Do you remember completely removing the frame from the costume? Come again? You really thought this through, didn't you? You imagined the scenario where the frame was left inside the costume and how that would affect events. You considered that you could only fit if the frame was left undone. You figured out that this would mean that the weight would be shifted to the legs, but you didn't consider everything. I think that there's much more it's much more likely that the frame was completely taken out of the costume. That's also possible, right? Let me get this straight. You claim that Chameleon-San here was able to cut the frame out of the costume in 15 minutes before she was sighted walking away from the scene of the crime? And then she temporarily disposed the frame somewhere before implementing the frame back into the costume before the defendant returned? Are you for real? I am. Chameleon-San is a cosplayer of legendary status. I don't doubt that she'd be able to do it. Uh-huh. This feels like a stretch, even by your standards. What's your basis for saying this? Well, without the metal frame and the costume, this opens up the possibility that Chameleon-San went through the invertebrate section instead of the vertebrae section. Recall that the invertebrate section was just a one-corner turn away from the employee area. This narrative is much more compatible with the fact that Rico somehow lost track of Yuchichi. We've already ruled out the possibility of Chameleon-San using the Pachichi costume, and her explanation of how she prepared the inflatable costume is particularly flimsy. If you ask me, it's much more likely that she modified the steel-framed Yuchichi costume to exclude the frame. She just didn't want to have to admit to cutting up the Yuchichi costume. Isn't that right, Chameleon-San? You ripped the frame out of Yu's costume? She worked really hard on that, you know? Your Honor, the defense calls for a recess. The costume must be inspected for any traces of this supposed frame removal. If the witness won't say anything about it, then we'll let the evidence speak for itself. Okay, let's have a short recess so the costume can be checked. But this will be the last recess of the day, okay? Fine by me. Let's have all lies dispelled and be left with only the truth to discover. But I must request the witness to think about what's transpired up until now. And I mean you, Chameleon-San. It took everyone a lot of energy and sacrifice to get to this point. I'm aware that you're trying to help, but it seems your involvement has simply caused a lot of trouble. We all have a moral responsibility to set things right. We request that you work with us. Well, enough of that. Let's have the Yuchichi costume checked out. 10 minutes should be enough, right? Mari's Funhouse will return in 10 minutes, sponsored by Sea Paradise once again. Oh my god, we're still going. Defendant lobby once again. Chameleon-San was here the whole time! Crap, she must have been able to blab on about the stand about facets of her true identity. Don't worry, Yoshiko. It looks like she's not very upset about it. We're doing what we can to keep her, help her keep it a secret after all. Yohane! Well, it's a good thing I was wrong about nearly everything. My bad luck finally paid off this time. Well, y'all did blurt out what school she's going to, Zura. Hopefully it doesn't bother her none. Boy, so it turned out the Chameleon-San went and cut up the costume to get the frame out. How are we gonna figure that one out? Or figure out if she really did something like that, Zura? It seems like she nearly did a flawless job. Yo, did you notice if anything in the costume had changed after the crime? I hadn't noticed anything out of place. We'll have to take a look at the costume again. Chameleon-San said a lot of stuff on the stand. Is everything she said accurate? More or less. I hadn't considered that she could leave the shoulder bits up. Because, like she said, that makes the costume incredibly hard to walk in. I wonder, the Uchichi head has no eye holes, right? But the wearer still has vision of the ground. If that's the case, how could Chameleon-San have known where she was going? I don't imagine that the ground alone was enough to guide her to in the right direction. If I had to guess, the frame was supposedly removed from the body, right? That means that it would be possible for the Chameleon-San to push inwards on the chest section. If that's the case, the gap between the head and the body would be increased, thereby increasing the wearer's field of vision. Such a thing just wouldn't show up on Riko's sketch because of the angle. I didn't notice such a thing, but it's possible that the body did feel more pressed inwards than it usually I don't come to see Paradise often enough to tell you that for sure, but I think it's a definite possibility. Yo, are you done looking at the costume? Is there anything out of place? Please tell me she has. If not, then my theory might be dead in the water. Yeah, this stitching method has changed. The stitching method? When I sewed the frame into the costume, I had specifically used a back stitch. However, it suddenly turned into a running stitch. Back stitch? Running stitch? Of course, that makes perfect sense. Running stitches are very quick to do, but they're relatively weak. Chameleon-San didn't have much time to sew the frame back in, so she could only afford to do a running stitch. Back stitches, on the other hand, are a lot stronger than running stitches. They're basically two running stitches layered on top of each other. Of course, they take much longer to do. I specifically chose to do a back stitch for more security, but it looks like Chameleon-San chose to do a running stitch instead. I'll have to redo all the stitching. There it is, Kasane did remove the frame. This means it's now very likely that she went through the invertebrate section and that she was holding onto her chest to keep the costume up. I was correct. But how exactly does this change anything? How the heck am I supposed to use this information to prove that she was the true culprit? June 27th, Mari's Funhouse. And we're back! Sorry for the wait, dear gallery. According to my sources, it has been reported that the stitching in the Uchichi costume has changed from a back stitch to a running stitch. That would imply that the frame was removed at some point. This claim was made by the defendant herself. She's the only one able to provide such information, but at the moment, we've no definitive evidence that she's telling the truth. And that's why I told the witness to reflect on what's happened so far. We can continue with this trial if she confesses that she redid the frame stitching. Fine, I admit it. I had cut the frame out of the costume, but this doesn't change my position on the incident. I had no choice, alright. I was supposed to put on the costume, and I found that I couldn't. Only in hindsight did I realize that I could probably have left the shoulders unclasped. I tried to work into my story, but you found me out. I didn't have time to do a backstitch, so I had to make do. Still, whether I took the frame out or not doesn't change anything. That's completely irrelevant to causing the sculpture to fall into the sea. You're not wrong. I can't see what this has to do with anything. Even then, the defense would like the witness to testify the process of removing the frame, where she put it and when she was able to pick it back up, put it back in. How about it, witness? Will you do that for us? You know what? Sure. I'll prove I have nothing to hide. Witness testimony, dismantling the costume. I quickly found that the Uchichi costume wouldn't fit me. Since I was tasked to wear it, I figured that I needed to make it work somehow. I didn't want anyone to see me performing surgery on Uchichi, so I took the costume out onto the observation deck before I got to work on it. Backstitches are hard to remove, so I had to be real slow and careful with my fabric knife. At least I risked damaging the costume. Fortunately, I was pretty good at it. I hid the frame parts behind the trash can nearby. The close one was a bit outside of the outside the observation deck, but I made sure nobody was around when I left, so I doubt that anybody else went in at the time. That's when I noticed the damaged head, so I left the observation deck. The aquarium director stopped me when I returned, so that's when I picked up the discarded frame from behind the trash can as well. I must reiterate that I never saw the sculpture at any point, even when I went onto the observation deck. That could only mean that it was already gone. Oh, that's a long testimony. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it brief, but hope that was good enough. Keep it brief. In that case, she's implying that she left out a lot of information, right? That probably is the case. I'm almost certain that she went and knocked the sculpture off at some point during that time. But when? You'll probably have to get her to elaborate on what she's talking about. The witness has stated that she did not see the sculpture. It's also clear that she did not interact with it at any point. I'd say this testimony is the last one we'll need. Oh. Are we still? Oh yeah, we're still live. Just, like, I just seen in the Twitch chat, it just said reconnecting the chat. It's like, are we still live? We're still live. We're still live and doing it live. There's clearly no contradictions left. Even the defense must admit that the testimony was watertight. Not exactly. Even if that's the case, I intend to dig a bit deeper. There must be additional details to some of the things she said. You want me to elaborate on what I testified about? Which part exactly? Well, I'm not sure right now. But I'll probably ask you to add more information to your testimony, so be prepared. This testimony is already quite long, so let's just have one statement added at a time, alright? Fine by me. Seems like I'm going to have to do some pressing, but on what? I might have to give everything a try. Cross-examination! Probably the finale. Maybe not, I don't know. Your task was primarily to guard the sculpture, while dressing up as Uchichi was a part of it. I think you could have gotten away with leaving the costume out of it. I mean, I know that now, but at the point, I wasn't given very clear instructions on what to do. According to Yo, I was just supposed to put on the costume and make sure nobody entered the observation deck. She never said anything about a sculpture. Maybe she wasn't in such a rush, or she could have afforded to give me clear instructions. But it's too late for regrets now. Defense, do you think this is important enough to add to the testimony? No. No, Your Honor. Let's just keep going. Wait, can I actually just add everything? I didn't want anyone to see me. I hadn't realized that the frame was so heavy. How did you manage to carry it onto the observation deck? I didn't really. I had to drag it on the ground like a dead body or something. Dead body? Do you really have to describe it like that? Fortunately, the ground was relatively smooth, so it didn't damage the costume. Must be all the seaside weathering. Anyway, I didn't want anyone to see me dragging Uchichi along the ground, so I constantly kept a lookout to make sure that nobody was looking at me funny. Wait a minute, if you were dragging the costume, then you had to have been walking backwards, right? So that's how you kept an eye on your surroundings? Yup, I just inched backwards until my butt hit the fence around the observation deck. That way I knew when to stop. Yes, actually, this is important. Yes, Your Honor, this statement might be important. Okay, Chameleon-San, please update your testimony. Sure, here we go. Like I said, the frame was heavy, so I had to drag him onto the deck. I pulled him backwards onto the deck until I bumped into the fence. There was a staircase in front of the observation deck, right? So you must have had to drag the costume up the stairs as well? Yeah, but it wasn't as hard as it sounds. The steps were nice and wide, so it wasn't much harder than dragging it over flat ground. I was walking backwards though. I had to take my time lest I trip. But yes, I just waltzed backwards until I bumped into the fence. That's when I knew to stop, okay? By fence she means the banister that surrounds the observation deck. Looks like she was trying to pull the costume as far back into the deck as she could, while still being able to maintain an eye on the entrance. No? Seriously? Until I bumped into the fence. You're actually fucking with me. Right, 3 of 7. We need to come back to that. Real slow fabric knife. If I remember correctly, you only had the interval between 11 and 11:15 to pull this off. You did it that fast? I did. I managed to remove all the back stitches in about 10 minutes. I'm actually pretty proud of it. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have time to backstitch the frame back into the costume later. I had to go with the quicker running stitch. Sorry about that. Yo's probably going to have to redo the stitches, huh? That she is. Kasane. That she is. Do you think it's important enough? I don't think so. I hit the frame. The police didn't write the frame down in the police report. Did you hide that as well? I don't know, but even if they did find it, they probably didn't connect it to the crime. In a vacuum, the frame parts by themselves look like a bunch of weird poles. And Yo added the frame to the costume on her own accord, right? In that case, not even the aquarium director would have been able to tell you anything about it. They probably thought that they were random tools or something if they saw the frame parts at all. So that's when I noticed the damaged head, so I left the observation deck. If I recall earlier, you said that you waited for the police to move your bag to lost and found, right? Right, all my tools were in my bag, which I had stupidly left on the deck. So I waited to see if they would bring it out. Fortunately, the director eventually did so, and I was able to get the frame back, and in the meantime... frame back in the costume. It took maybe half an hour to reset everything. Defense, do you think this is important enough to add to test? Maybe add that one actually as well. Yes, Your Honor, add the statement might be important. Okay, Chameleon-San, please update your testimony. Sure, here you go. Like I said, I carried the frame back to the staff area where I left the costume, and the director soon brought the duffel bag to the lost and found. And you just carried them in your arms? Yeah, they're a lot easier to carry when they're not set up inside the costume. I can actually get my arms around all of them, so they feel less heavy. I went through the invertebrate section during my trip back, because the steel poles did indeed set off the screener, as expected. I didn't run into Rico though. She must have wandered off into the vertebrate section or something by that point. Possible glance, but is there more? I must reiterate, I never saw the sculpture at any point. I could actually present it here, maybe. Really, you never took a glance at the observation deck when Yo was explaining everything? You went to the observation deck as well, right? The observation deck was at a higher elevation than the mammal section. There was a short staircase leading up to the observation deck from the ground level. You can't really see what's on the deck itself. And that said, I'm 99% sure that it was already gone when I got there. I don't know how many times I reiterated that, but it's true. So there's a possibility that the sculpture was still there, huh? Defense, do you think this is important to add enough to testimony? Yes, add it. Sure, here you go. Like I said, if you must know, there is a short staircase leading up to the observation deck. That means the pedestal where the sculpture was could not have been seen from the outside. I'm assuming that after your modifications to your Chi-Chi costume on the observation deck, you put it on and stepped off. Since the head has no eye holes and you were walking solo, there wasn't a risk of you tripping and falling down the stairs? No, there was a big enough gap at the bottom of the head that I had a decent view of the ground. I would see the stairs coming just fine. Besides, removing the frame made it much easier to walk. It wasn't much harder than walking with, say, a big one-piece pajama outfit. I remember Yo saying she took out the padding lining from the outfit. I suppose that tracks. So Kasane really took the frame out, huh? I guess the costume could still hold a roundish shape well enough without the frame or its padding. As for getting additional details, could you press any of her initial statements for more information? But which one is the right one? So many options, but I feel like only one of them will lead us to any results. This might take a lot of pressing. Yeah, you might have to be patient with this one, but it can't hurt to give each statement a press and see where it leads. Come on, we need to show that Kasane could have bumped into the sculpture by accident, but how? Fuck, it's still... I swear, it must be this head! It must be! It must be the head. can skip this and then add it. Yes, Your Honor. Like I said, I had only been told to wear the Uchichi costume and guard the entrance. I didn't even know I needed to guard a sculpture. Present the head again, Joe. Present it. Keep presenting until it works. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it all again. Your Honor? Wrong. Just wrong. Oh, I haven't even shown you evidence yet. Sorry, I've seen the walkthrough for this episode, and that wasn't the right thing to present here. That's fair enough. Sorry to stop everything, but I'm getting a bit hungry. Guilty. See, I want to, like, leave it there for today, but I feel like I'm, like, right there. Like, this is, like, the last thing I have to present. I swear down, like... Hold it! Dismantling the costume. It has to be something to do with that. Because the costume was damaged. Because she realized it was damaged after the fact, like, when she was leaving the actual thing. And maybe hiding the frame, like... Dismantling the costume. Yes. Add all of it. All! Add it all. Didn't fit me since... Oh wait, sorry, yeah, this one first. Oh wait, never mind, yeah, so there was nothing there I could add, but anyway. Because I found the Uchichi wouldn't fit me since I was saying, like I said, I've only been told to wear the Uchichi costume and guard the entrance. I didn't know I needed to guard a sculpture. And you didn't even know a sculpture was involved until yesterday, which was the day after the crime. Yeah, I missed out on a lot of information. I wasn't told by Yo that a sculpture had to be guarded, and I wasn't told by the director that a sculpture was stolen. If I had been told either of these things, maybe I would have pieced it together a lot sooner. Not saying I blame either of them, though. Yo was in a rush, and the aquarium director thought I was some rando, and probably didn't want anyone to panic. I guess that makes sense. I don't think she's lying here, right? I didn't want anyone to see me performing surgery. Add it. Add it! Like I said, the frame was heavy, so I had to drag him onto the deck. I pulled him backwards onto the deck until I bumped into the fence. There was a staircase in front of the observation deck, right? So you must have had to drag the costume up the stairs as well? Harsh as sounds. And yeah, I already presented the thing there. Backstitch. Jesus, can you let me talk? Oh yeah, about 10 minutes. Add it to the testimony. Like I said, I was able to remove all the backstitches within 10 minutes. Cool, huh? That was kind of reckless of you, right? Was it really the best solution to the problem? I had no choice. From my perspective, I was hired solely to wear the costume and to guard the entrance. There must have been a reason Chica needed me to act as her, right? Even though I wasn't the right person for the job, I had to make it work. I just don't want to believe that I had accepted a job that I wasn't prepared for. Not again. I had to make it work somehow. Not again? Not again. The police didn't write down the frame of the police report. Did you hide it that well? Didn't connect to the crime. Looks like they're by themselves. Yes, add it. Like I said, the frame was nondescript. It just looks like a bunch of metal poles. I'm sure the police simply thought they were random tools or something. A bunch of poles? The frame didn't come out in a single big piece? No, there were several bits on the frame similar to the shoulder fasteners. It came apart fairly easily, although you'd never be able to take it apart by accident. Once disassembled, the parts are completely unrecognizable. As the skeleton of a mascot, imagine a bunch of bendy tent poles or something. Who's gonna look at it oddly at a bunch of discarded tent poles? Nobody, I'd say. A pile of metal in the corner won't really draw any attention if anyone sees it at all. I suppose this isn't too outlandish to believe, I think. When I noticed the damage to the head... If I recall correctly, earlier you said that you were waiting for the police to move your bag to Lost and Found, right? Right, all my tools were in my bag, which I had stupidly left on the deck, so I waited to see if they would bring it out. Fortunately, the director eventually did so, and I was able to get the frame back in the costume. It took maybe half an hour to reset everything. Vince, do you think it's important enough? I do. Everything is important here. Like I said, I carried the frame back to the staff area where I left the costume, and the director soon brought the duffel bag to the lost and found. And you just carried them in your arms? Yeah, a lot easier to carry now. I must reiterate, I never saw the sculpture. Really? You never took a glance at the observation deck? Yeah. Sure, here you go. Check out everything that the witness has to say in the third cross-examination. Like I said, if you must know, there's a short staircase leading up to the observation deck. That means that the pedestal where the sculpture was could not have been seen from the outside since the elevation is different. I'm assuming that after your modifications to your Chi-Chi costume on the observation deck, you put it on and stepped off. Since the eye has no hole, or the head has no eye holes, and you were walking solo, wasn't it risky tripping or falling down? No, there's a big enough gap at the bottom of the head. I had a decent view of the ground. I could see the stairs coming just fine. Besides, removing the frame made it much easier to walk. It wasn't much harder than walking with one thing. Now, I suppose this tracks. I guess the costume could still hold a roundish shape well enough without the frame or padding. As for getting additional details, you can press any of her initial statements for more information, but which one is the right one? So many options, but I feel like only one of them will lead us to any results. This might take a lot of pressing. Since I tasked wearing it, I figured that I needed to make it work somehow. I'm still so convinced it's the head. Because the back of it, the head got damaged at some point. But it wouldn't be from anything random. It has to be when she bumped. Since I was tasked wearing, I figured that would make it work. I didn't want anyone to see me perform surgery on new Chi-Chi, so I took the costume onto the observation deck before I got to work on it. Backstitches are hard to remove, so I had to be real slow and careful with my fabric knife. At least I risked damaging the costume. Fortunately, I was pretty good. Nah, doesn't lie. I had the frame parts trash can. The closest one was a bit outside the observation, made sure nobody was around left, so I doubt anyone else went in at the time. That's when I noticed the damaged head, so I left the observation deck. The aquarium director stopped me when I returned, so that's when I picked up the discarded frame from behind the trash can as well. They just keep presenting the broken head. I must re-edit it. I never saw the sculpture at any point, even when I went onto the observation deck. That could mean it was already gone. I am so convinced it's this fucking head. I'm so convinced. Like I said, if you must know, Numero 1 doesn't make sense. Short sake leading to the opposite. Oh wait, sorry, wrong one. I found the Chi-Chi costume would fit since I was tasked to wear it. I figured he would make it work. They wanted to perform in Chi-Chi, so I took the costume on the observation deck before I got work on it. Backstitches are hard to remove, so I had to be real slow and careful with my fabric knife. At least I risked damaging the costume. Fortunately, pretty good. I had a frame close to one thing. When I noticed damaged head, that's when I noticed damaged head. I left the observation deck. Fuck, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I genuinely might. I know it's like, literally, we're at the end, but I might have to leave it till tomorrow. Hold on. Let me have one more swing at it, though, before I leave it. I'll actually have a look at the evidence before I go as well. Yeah, she was watching the entrance and backing up into it. Like, that has to be it. Kanata Haruka. I was still able to see the ground. Witness testimony. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Cross-examination. Fuck! I thought that could have been it. Unless I just have to push it a little bit more. Carried the frame back to the staff area where I left the costume, and director soon brought the duffel bag to lock the where I left the costume, the director soon... Sorry. No, wait. Oh yeah, I already pushed that, but it wasn't added, was it? Fuck! Come on! It's so close! Look at the evidence, Joe. Oh wait, I actually never even seen her profile yet. The true identity of the mysterious Chameleon-San, a former school idol from Shinonome Academy, now spends her days offering cosplay services. Anything that relates to it, Joe. Have to remove, hit the frame. Notice the damage head. Nah. Right, one more shot, Joe. That's it, yeah. Oh, I forgot I even had it. I noticed the source at the very top of OBS there called Joe's Life Flyer Radio. Didn't even know I still had that there. Unfortunately, we're going to be leaving this on a cliffhanger. I know, it's so stupid. Like, I can sense that the end is right there, but at least I know for the next day, like, we will finish this. We will. But then we also have Pokemon Shiny hunting as well. So I'm going to have to leave it because I can't keep going on. I need to actually be up a bit earlier tomorrow as well anyway. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it will be finished tomorrow. Swear down. W stream. Thank you, Crack. Oh, like, see, I know I'm there. I know I'm there. Maybe I'm just thinking too hard on it, and I just gotta give myself a day to think about it. You never know. Maybe at some point, like, if I do come back home early after I'm done with what I'm doing tomorrow, I might even just record myself doing it and be like, just like what I did with Genjutsu no Yohane Numazu in the Mirage, where I was facing against Yohane. And, like, I was just basically recording my playthroughs, and I was like, okay, I'll just show the recording of the last fight when I actually beat her, like. That's what it could turn into. Anyway, sorry again, guys. I know that's a bit disappointing. I'm literally blue balling everyone. Like, we're literally right there. Like, we're right there. We are going to finish it. I just have to take another day. But it will be finished tomorrow. Well, if I do stream tomorrow. Either that or the next day. Definitely the next day, anyway, if not tomorrow. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, both on the Twitch and the YouTube side. This will be back. We will finish it. Swear down. Anyway, thank you again, guys, for watching, and goodbye.